Oh god. Yeah, let's close that. Let's get started. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Not too bad yourself.
Good, good. Same. Okay.
Good.
Alright, let's get right into it. So go ahead and share your screen.
Yeah, sure.
Yo, what's up, Simba? Okay, so I'm just gonna ask a few questions before we start. So I usually
Yeah.
start off with asking this to all my students. So, have you watched any of the VODs or streams before?
Yeah, I've watched a few of the VODs.
Okay, good. I just asked to see if a student will understand how the session will go. So then you
Yep.
probably will know how it kind of goes if you've watched a couple. Okay. And then the next question will be, uh, what is your current rank? Wait, give me 1 second. Sorry, let me. Okay, yep. So just tell me your current rank, peak rank, and then also the role you play.
So
What
current rank is
ages?
Silver 2, and then peak rank was Silver 3.
Silver.
I've only been playing since the last act as well.
Okay.
Um,
So you're
I
new.
mainly play Clove, Sage, or KO. Not really tampered with any other character agents even. So yeah.
Okay. Clove, KO, and Sage. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. No worry. Okay. The next question will be as detailed as you can be. How many hours are you putting in a day, or weekly? Um, try.
Normally depending after work, maybe 3 to 5 hours after work if I have time.
Okay.
Weekends, I do tend to play quite a lot. The last week I was off on annual leave, so I pretty much had a very chilled week where I was staying at home. So yeah, played a
Okay.
lot last week.
Okay. Cool. So you said about 3 to 5 hours a day. How many days a
Try
week?
to
You try. Sure.
pretty much Monday, Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday, so 5 days a week. That's about. So it's about around 18 or 30
Yeah,
hours
I'd say around that. Yeah.
around there a week. Okay. Just curious, just figuring it out. Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right. The next, we've got pretty much two more questions because you answered one already. You started last act. Okay, no problem. The next question will be, try to be as specific as you can. It's very important that you're specific. Okay. In terms of your game, what do you feel like is troubling you, your concerns, things you want to work on, stuff like that? Um, what your weaknesses are, or what you're struggling, whatever it may be, in terms of your game. Just try to be as specific as detailed. Why did you come to me?
Definitely my game sense.
Okay.
Timing's completely wrong. Doing thing, pushing when I shouldn't be, even though I know I shouldn't.
Okay.
Aim, it really differs from day to day. There'll be some days where feel like I'm very good at one point, then there's other days I'm just bottom fragging the entire day.
Okay. So inconsistencies, and then
Massively, yeah.
also game sense, and then timing. Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? Try to just name it all
Um,
out there.
Comms,
Yo, Yeti Turkey, thanks
depending
for the
on how the
follow.
game goes, if I get frustrated, I'd definitely say I'm an emotional player.
Okay.
If the team are doing bad or people are being toxic, then I'll end up just sort of going mute, won't talk to them, just sort of not play my own game, but try and
Okay.
carry the team if I can, or just play my own game really.
All right. All right. So would you say you consider yourself a tilter? Is that fair to say?
100%.
Okay. No
I'm
worries.
very competitive, even though I know it's just a game, but I've got a very bad competitive side to me where I like to win everything.
Right. Yep, I'm the same. No worries. Okay. So you're pretty much saying your game sense, inconsistencies in aim, some timing issue, some mental fortitude stuff, mental game stuff going on there, tilting, not communicating as high level as you think you can be. Okay. See, I see. All
Yeah,
right.
I definitely need to learn the maps more as well.
Okay.
Like
So like call outs,
where,
map.
yeah,
Okay.
quite a lot. Yeah,
That's a simple fix. There's a
yeah,
channel in this Discord under Valorant Trading Grounds. I put map callouts. I put all the maps there with all the general callouts stuff. Obviously, you're gonna have to learn like the slang callouts that everyone uses. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, that's a simple fix. In terms of timing, is also another simple fix. You just gotta keep playing more. Understand timings in this game. There's no textbook answer to get better at timing, but get to see timings and to take what is the word I'm looking for? Seize those timings. When you can identify you have a timing, you gotta take it. Cause if you don't take it, you lose the timing, right? So and that's why it's called timing, right? Because there's only a
yeah.
small window where you can do whatever it is, uh, stuff like that. And then inconsistency, super easy to fix. Just gotta work on it every day, train every day, be consistent, be disciplined. That's pretty much it. That's the easy discipline to get pretty much out of the two disciplines, which is game sense or aim. Aim is the easy one. Game sense is the hard one. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's that. So there'll be one last question before we get into it. It's gonna be and be as specific as you can be. Okay, it's very important. I don't want to hear like a two-word answer or like a one-sentence answer. I want you to really dig deep. Okay, so with your answer. So the next question will be, what is it you want from Valorant? What are your goals?
Ideally, I want to improve the game each time I'm playing. I don't want to feel like I'm forced to play the game that every game I play, I know I'm going to lose, or I want to know that every game, even if I'm losing, that I'm going to be improving. And it's that might change in the mindset of, oh, I'm losing the game, I'm just going to throw. I want to be able to just sort of push on, learn from the game, and if the other team are better than me, then learn from it, like move on and sort of just improve.
Okay. What else?
Um, Aim wise, definitely improve on my crosshair placement.
Okay.
Sort of peeking corners. Strafing is another one.
Suck
I
got the hell with
know
them.
sort of how to do it, but trying to implement that when it's a one on one, it's different when it's in the range.
Hmm.
I can do it there, but when it comes to actually fighting another player, definitely doesn't seem to be showing.
Okay. Okay, I'll help you out a little bit. Okay, in terms of your
Yeah.
goals, what do you want? Your goals. Not
Um,
things we need to work on. Your goals, the
okay.
big dream and the small ones. Okay, so the easy way to answer this question is, well, I don't want an easy answer, but the best way to think about this answer is to kind of think where would you like to be in terms of rank or the end
The,
result. End result.
I think everyone sort of would be radiant, but I
Sure.
don't know if I'd be able to shoot that far. Definitely would like to push diamond if possible, if not further.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So I'll be very honest. Their answer was pretty. It
I
was
know it's generic.
specific, but it
Yeah,
was kind of like I want to know your dream, your end goal. That's important to me. And you know,
it'd be good in the game to be able to most matches carry people, sort of not rely on teammates and
sure.
making the right calls
And
and know where
that will
what needs to be.
come. That will come. But
Yeah, of course.
we gotta focus on some other stuff first. So you really got and why I'm forcing not just you. I do this to every student to have a good answer when I ask this question. It's not to see if, you want to go pro or anything. It's just I want to see what type of person you are. Okay?
Yeah,
Because, those that have, like you said, you're super competitive. If you're really competitive, then you're usually and I am usually the case with super competitive people is they want to be the best, right? They want to
100%.
be a Mortal 3. They want to be Radiant. They want to go pro. I'm not saying you have to go pro. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's important to have this big end goal. What'd you say in terms of rank you want to be? Diamond, right?
Yeah,
You have to understand you're not that far away. Even though, yes, it's silver, gold, platinum, it's not that far. Okay, it's not that far. Okay, so I would like you to develop and first a big goal. Hey, I want to be Immortal 3 and I'll be happy if I die. Immortal, Radiant, whatever it is. Shoot high. Why? Because even if you shoot high and fail or give up, because those are two different things, failing and giving up, okay, or quitting, okay, will still be higher than where you've actually set your original eyes to. there's a quote
Hmm.
I'm sure you've heard. I say this all the time when I get to this point. It's called "Shoot for the stars, you land on the moon." You shoot super high, even if you believe it's unrealistic, and you'll fall higher than where you actually wanted to go. And that's important to me, to see where you want to be. And for you, I'm not bashing you. I'm not nothing like that. I'm just saying for you to say diamond is just like, bruh, we're already there. We're like, oh, we just gotta
Shoot high.
clean up a couple things, work on your aim every day, and you'll be diamond in no time. Okay, less than
Yeah.
2 months if you really put work into your game and also play a lot and focus on the right things. Okay, and it's important that we shoot high. So right now, let's decide what rank shoot high. Okay, you can even say I've had one guy out of all my students so far, and I haven't been coaching long. I've had probably around 100 to 130 sessions, maybe around there, and I've been only coaching for 2 months. And I had one guy tell me this week. One guy said, "I want to be number one Radiant," and I was like, "Dude,
Damn.
I can fucking respect that." Everyone gives me the generic answer. I want to be immortal. Immortal's my goal. Immortal, immortal, or just going pro. He was so specific. He's like, I want to be number one. I want to be the best. And I'm not saying be like him, but I'm saying adopt that mentality where you want to shoot super high and nothing else really matters. He has this dream, he's obsessing over this goal, right? And so I would like you to, right now, with me, just kind of come up with something, whatever you want, something higher than diamond. Diamond is like the average pool of players. Like plat, diamond, gold is like just average people. We gotta excel average people. And I'll ask you, do you want to be average?
Not a chance. No.
No
God no.
chance. Fuck no. Okay, then we're gonna have to shoot high and dream bigger than what every average person is dreaming. There are average people only, I'll tell you right now, average people are like, immortal. I want to get a little bit better. I want to rank up 5 times. That's it. I'm just going to kind of want to improve and see improvements. That's average people thinking. Those that have this fire in them, this competitive edge, super built within them, everyone's different. It's a little bit genetics, a little bit environmental, but those will be like, I want to be the best. I want to be number one. I want to go pro. I want to be here, set my eyes here. So, just with you, just think of something and then come up with it right now. So, what would you like in terms of rank? Where do you want? Where you'll be? And that's why I said, where will you be happy if you just die tomorrow? Which won't happen. It's just over exaggeration. Just if you were to just leave this earth, you'll be happy. Okay, what like super happy, like obsessing over it. Not diamond, because that's bro, it's nothing. Give me something a little bit better.
Yeah. From that conversation, it's got
What's
to
up,
be radiant
Shinoe?
then.
Okay, good. So
I'm shooting for the stars then.
good.
Yeah.
So we've identified we want to be radiant. Okay, and now that you've said what you want, you gotta stick to it. So it's a commitment. So if you want to backtrack and say, "Oh fuck, it's too big of a commitment," you can go ahead right now and say, "I want to
Yeah.
be Immortal 3, Immortal 1." Are you? Have you set your eyes on Radiant?
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong. I
I,
know
be
I don't
very
play as much
honest
as I
with
should be,
yourself. I'm just.
but I play the game a lot, and it's something that like I say, I'm very competitive, and
But
I'll keep playing
okay,
until it
but
gets to that point.
I'm just saying, make sure you won't quit on this goal. So,
Oh
is
no,
this
no,
what you want?
100%.
Okay, we've agreed. A radiant. Good. Good job. Okay, that's the big goal. Now we work on the small goals. Obviously, you're silver too. We'll be very brutally honest. You're very far away. But I believe anyone can get to radiant. And that's how this game is built, that anyone really can. It's not like Counter Strike. It's not like some other games where when you're at the top, people can't touch you. This game is not built that way in terms of mechanics. Everyone can kill anybody. Doesn't matter what rank they are. Just dumbed down versions of Counter Strike. Okay, stuff like that. So now all we have to do is focus on the small goals. So every week I would like you to just be like, okay, I'm silver 2 right now. Next week I gotta hit silver 3. I got 1 week. Give yourself 1 week. Okay, next week. And obviously it's okay if you don't hit these goals. And when you don't hit them, you gotta identify why you're not hitting them, what's going wrong. You gotta be critical, and then you just have to work on the small goals every time, with or without me. Okay, so that's that. So it's just very, what I'm trying to say is it's very important that we lay down the law now with you, as in this is my big goal, this is my dream, these are the small goals I have to hit, and I will help you at the end with some of the range stuff, the aim mechanic stuff, some stuff, but um, just understand it's not gonna be easy. Yeah, I'm sure you understand that. It's super
Yeah,
fucking
of
hard.
course.
It's gonna be a lot of bad days. I was pro when I was 14. StarCraft 2. Tried to go pro in multiple other games. I was always top 200, top 500 in most games. Okay, I understand what it's. I tried to go pro like 4 times, and I only succeeded 1 time. And when I succeeded, I wasn't even the top of the top. I was the bottom of the barrel pro. I was a B teamer. I was an unknown pro, but I was young, so I was developing myself to become there. But I quit. Right, every
Mm.
time I ended up quitting. I even tried to go pro last year in Spectre Divide. I was top 100 when the game came out with 30,000 players. Networking. There was a Discord with all the pro players, semi-pro players, players that were going to go pro, and the game just died. Right? I didn't even quit. It's just unlucky. What am I supposed to do when it goes from 30,000 players to 800 players in a month? So, you know, I know what it's like to climb and be at this. I started in silver too when I played Valorant. This is where I started as well. But I got to Immortal 3 by committing to going pro. Maybe I fell a little short because I quit. I didn't fail. I quit. That's a big difference. But um, at least I'm happy to say I put in so much work to get where I wanted to go. Kind of. I was happy with being at the high Immortal 3 level, stuff like that. So obviously, I wanted to be Radiant too, but I just quit, so it's kind of out of my reach. But
No, I get it.
and so that's that. So go ahead and Q. We'll go ahead and start now. But yeah, it's very important that we can dream big, obsess over
Yeah.
this thing, and I need you to do that. You gotta visualize that icon on your name every day, sleeping before you sleep. Visualize it, putting yourself in positions where you are playing with really good players and in the
Yeah.
scenarios where you win these things. Okay, so that's that. So how the session will pretty much go is that you will play one game. I will write some notes down, general notes, and then the round specifics, and we'll get in a custom game and we'll go through these stuff. I'll try to help you with some fundamental stuff you're lacking in, uh,
Hmm.
help you with some concepts, stuff like that.
Match found.
But yeah, and then one thing I'll say is that just make sure you play the agent that you want to improve on. If you're
Yeah.
playing like a duelist, you don't play duelist. So if you're playing duelist, it's gonna be a little bit scuffed. But play Sage, Clover, Kale.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know why the voice channels are not on.
oh, good. Also, how old are you?
At 28.
28. Okay, okay. So you're a little bit older as well.
Yep.
Okay, you're about my age. We're about the same age.
I don't know whether to queue skip or not because I've got no comms.
I'm sure you can turn it on in the game, or you can press that little
Okay.
your little
Yeah, I've pressed that. It's nothing.
what you have to do is turn it off, team voice chat, and then turn it back on the bottom. That's party on the bottom. Team voice chat, turn it off, save and close it, and then do it again, and then put it on, save and close it, and then try pressing your your comms button a little bit. See if you can talk.
Yeah, not working.
Huh? Interesting.
Um.
Probably just bug. You can dodge if you
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah, I might dodge just in case.
I'm sure it's not you though. It's probably
No, this happens. I've seen it a few times. I don't know why it does it.
what server?
Then I'll
is
go
it?
to the next game.
EU.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I get a warning now. See if it works. I don't think it will, but I am finding as well. So before I'm even playing any games, I am going into the practice range and doing some warm ups. Doing like 5 to 10 rounds of
Okay.
eliminating 100 bots, and then doing another 5 rounds of on hard, and then jumping into 1 or 2 death matches to warm up.
Okay, that's good. It's a good start for you being a new player. Usually, new players don't do that stuff, so that's good. Have you come from? Well, you're my generation, so you probably played a lot of games. What games have you
Yeah.
played prior?
Overwatch, Call of Duty.
Okay.
I have played a little bit of CS:GO because I am. This is probably like my 4th year on PC as well. I've always been a controller player.
Gotcha. So you are
So
pretty much a FPS player.
yeah, I play a bit. Yeah, I play a bit of FIFA as well. We used
Cool,
to.
cool. Nice, nice. Yep. So we'll kind of maybe we'll just talk about it now. Like, what is your so that's all you do is range and then DMs and then kind of play games.
Yeah,
Do you do
yeah.
any aim trainers like Aim Labs or Kovacs?
I have aim labs. I've tried a few bits and bobs, but nothing. Whenever I use them, I don't. I feel like I'm probably not doing it correctly. I'm not finding any value from it.
Sure, that is important. You gotta make sure you do it
Yeah,
correctly.
it's not working. I think I'm just gonna have to jump into a game with it with no
Sure,
comms.
that's fine. I'm sure it'll fix once you jump in a game, or it could be a
Yeah.
server issue. Probably EU server. They probably turned it off for now or something. Maybe you should ask them, is it off or something? Maybe. Hi, Layla. How are you? What's up?
Yeah, I bought a new keyboard as well. I think it's the Logitech Pro TKO
I
X.
have the same one.
Yeah,
Tactile or
yeah, man, it's got the rapid trigger.
yeah. Okay, we
Yeah,
have the same one.
yeah. I'm one of these
I'm
older generation, money, grown up money, no children. So yeah,
right. We're actually the same age, so like we're
yeah.
born
Oh,
on the
really?
same year. You're 96,
Oh
right?
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
96.
96 too, so we're
Damn.
we're we're born in literally the same year, so we're the same age. So we kind of probably have similar we can relate is what I should say. Usually that's what happens with my older guys is
Yeah.
that we kind of not hit it off, but we just relate more because we've grown up with all the same games. Watching, we play probably Warcraft 3, StarCraft, all those games, right? When we were young kids.
I've never played those ones. I was never.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Warcraft, Starcraft, nothing
Yeah.
I ever really played.
That's like our like 1.6 Counter
Yeah.
Strike. That's like
Yeah.
our.
Yeah, so when I grew up, it was just like PlayStation 2s. Like I never actually had a PC
Yeah.
until I was like
Right.
in my 20s.
You said you were a console guy, so I was a PC guy my
Yeah,
whole life. I was a little bit lucky
yeah,
because my older brother, but
yeah. It was like the Nintendo 64, Game Boy Advance, all that.
is this the first session for? Yep. What's up, Sly? It's the first session. Also, don't tell my coach about the whiffs. What whiffs? Why are you whiffing, huh? Nice. Son whiffs good. She's always whiffing, guys. She's always whiffing.
So what else is on finding? I was on finding it depending on which map it is as well. Like will depend on how well I play. I find I'm playing on much better on certain maps than I am on others.
Okay. So I would like you to become a player where because this is very common where a player sees a map like, oh my god, this map I hate it, it's my worst map. I would like you to be a player where it does not matter what map, does not matter which side, does not matter whatever it is, that you're like, I know how to play every side, every part of this map, and I'm confident. And that comes with time, obviously. I'm a little bit lucky where I played all these maps from the beginning since they've been released, but just keep that in mind. Just keep learning these maps, ins and outs, everything. And one way to do that is going into that channel I showed you earlier. We'll talk about that after
Yeah, of course.
at the end of the session. But that's that. So I tell my students, don't be nervous at this point.
Yeah.
We won't be talking. That's usually how it goes on the first session. And then
Okay.
just lock in. It's not a time for you to show off to me. It's a time for me to evaluate your weaknesses and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just lock in. Okay. Good luck. I'll see you after.
See you after.
Peace. Hello, chat. Layla's a Diamond 3 future Radiant player, right? Soon to be Game Changers Pro. Okay, let me just pull up my notes here a little bit. So round 1. He starts on A. Enemy are running. What the fuck is going on? Running it down. He gets 1 kill, whiffs hard on Gen side, and then he kills 1 more.
Last player standing.
Screen side, and then he kills the KO default. Good round by him. Good kills.
breaks, the rest will follow.
My MMR is cooked. Why is your MMR cooked, bro? I think I can be higher. I think you can be higher too. She's 45 kills. Daily coach, soon to be Radiant, huh? Sly has his coaching this week, actually, his first session. Somebody paid for his session, actually. Such a nice guy. Soon to be Radiant, huh? Can you carry my ass out of
Shutting them down. Cooling down.
Target spotted A. Barrier deployed.
No charges. Target 86.
This is such a silver lobby. He starts on
enemy
A.
remaining.
They go a lot belt slash pipes.
Caution.
He kills 2. But he's whiffing a bit.
Net deployed.
Pushes
Flash.
main and kills the Sova. That's what I'm gonna guess that's gonna happen. Nope. I wrote it down, so I gotta have to backtrack, erase that. Pushes main and dies. Good round by him.
Attack when they're suppressed. I got their options. They make
I
mistakes.
know I'm silver 2 and in my rank games I get bronze. Yeah, that means you are not winning the game with a big enough discrepancy, like difference in rounds. So that, or you are going negative also with everyone in your game. So look at the end of the matches, see your performance, see how you do against individual players, and then also the rounds matter as well. You always gotta win games with more rounds than you're losing games. So for example, if you win a game and it's 13
Three suppressed.
11, but you lose, and it's like you have 2 and they have 13, then the difference is so big, right? You win with only 1 round up, but you lose with like an 8-9 round difference, so your MMR will go down. You got to make sure you're winning with more rounds, like more ahead, and then losing more closer games. Why do I play gold 3 platinum bronze 3? That means your MMR is very high. I mean, that's a good thing. That the game thinks you are higher level than your rank, so it's trying to pull you up to plat gold. But if you're playing with players lower than you, than your rank, then that means
Reset.
your MMR is lower than your rank. The game is trying to pull you down. It's always a test with the game. It's always trying to see where you are.
Last player standing.
Which I think the system is bad, but
Spike planted.
he starts on B, gets 2 good kills. Honestly, he's pretty aggressive, from what I see. He's pretty good at fighting. I'm plat 1 against diamonds. He. No giggling in my chat, please. No giggling. How was your stream today, Layla? I think I tuned in for like 5 minutes and I had to leave. But I saw you when you're on Icebox and you died to the guy coming out the wall on A. And then your teammate won the round, killing the Waylay shower side.
Saving
Oh.
credits.
Oh, no spamming, no spamming. Yo, no spam, no spam, no spam. Oh god. Yeah, on timeout this guy. Did you?
Knife deployed.
I gotta fix that. Not Icebox. It was on Bind. Sorry. Yeah, the Nightbot's mad. I gotta fix that. I just have like default Nightbot, so.
Enemy
Sorry, PR. What's up, bro? How are you?
Caution.
caution, hitting the brakes.
My ult's not ready to recharge.
So round 4. They stack A.
Line 'em up. Going in.
Or before he dies from Teo.
Stop them now. Reloading. Out of turn.
Nothing really there.
Be right back.
No, don't time out my donator. Bruh. Yo, you guys are distracting me, man.
Don't rush. Last player standing.
Gotta block in. Fuck. I'm so sore. He's actually, from what I see, his aim isn't so bad. I like that he's able to be aggressive. He likes to fight. Alright, he likes to take default fights, as in he likes to take the fights that are quite normal to take, that you don't see the lower level people. Also, wait, are you communicating or no? I can't.
I can't hear them at all.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
It's
yeah,
broken. Okay. So we'll,
yeah,
we'll kinda,
completely.
I'll look past that.
Yeah,
today.
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
no, don't
that's-
apologize. I think it's the servers.
Yeah, everyone else in their game seems to be commuting through text.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate.
I know exactly where you are.
He starts on B.
Shutting them down.
Yeah, he's silver, but he's pretty good.
Suppressed.
For he's only been playing for.
Kill confirmed.
Slow down.
He said one act. He started last
Spike
act, so
planted. There's that.
pretty good. Starts on B, backside. Guy swings out yellow and
Last
he
player
kills
standing.
him.
One enemy remaining.
He's also older. He's 28. Killed him. Not much I can get there in that round. So we're gonna have to overlook communications today because for some reason there's no comms in the EU server.
A momentary win.
Was that like that for you,
Let us
Layla?
make it
Was there no
Need to
comms?
drop.
I don't know. He has no comms. There's no comms in his server for some reason. No team chat. Very strange. Very strange. I don't think it's him. Because he talked to the team and they all said they don't have comms. Bro, it's 2 a.m. What do you expect? Lol.
Kill all your opponents.
That's what I said. I said turn it off and on, and then he did, and it didn't work. So and he asked his teammates like, is it on? And they all said no. So I think it's the server. So it's all good. Starts mid. Boiler. Knifes mid. Sees nothing. Comes back. Raptors on A. Enemy are running it down for some reason. He kills the Reyna. Jail.
Gonna fall back here.
He's a little bit whiffy, but he can take the fights a little bit well. Like he's killing them at least. Yeah, I think it's bugged. You're from EU, Sla. You're turning 22 and I already got back. You already got back pain at 22? What the? Girl, you're gonna have to go to the chiropractor. Because utility usage, I would like to see him use
Spike
more
planted. One enemy remaining.
flashes. Needs to use his mollies, his molly as well. They rotate enemy. Oh, sure, right. 3v2 enemy cut noise run to walk off to B and he kills one main. End of story. Yes.
I could use a drop.
Guys, stop. You
I'm
guys
finding this like I don't want to flash in case I end up flashing my teammates because I can't tell them.
Okay. All good. Still try.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, guys, you guys are not old. You guys are young. Young adults. Okay? I'm old. I'm uncle. He's uncle. I'm watching uncle. And our uncle's watching the uncle. We're both uncles. He's 28. I'm 28. Like, bro. You guys are young, bro. Ooh. He peeks. He starts he starts mid boiler. Throws his knife. mid, and then he has a tight angle and gets one tapped. He sees two mid. Silva,
planted.
Cypher. So it's a little unlucky we can't see him communicate. I would like to just
Here.
communicate.
Last player standing.
Stats say that you guys don't even have 60 years left. Probably is true. KD is declining. I'm slowly getting further away from radio. I don't know what to do. Simba, bro. Gotta keep improving, man.
We got this.
You've been away for too long. You don't know how to stay alive after a kill and entry? Bro. You may not be you may not be scaling properly then. Look at the way you scale. Your entry might be good, but you might not be taking good fights when you're scaling or valuing your life. You're just swinging out. You gotta be critical. Gotta understand what you're doing wrong. If I stay alive till 60, I'm happy. Me too. Me too. If I were to die right now, I would be happy with my life, to be honest. The experiences I've had, the things I've done. I'm satisfied. Take me right now, God.
Spike planted.
Starts mid, tries to take space down mid. There's a cam, he shoots it, comes back orange. Goes into kitchen. It's 3v. It's 3v4 retake. He's mollies and mollies off main.
Last player standing.
Stand your ground.
Dropped and that round was alright. I think he could have pushed a little bit quicker. Get down, do something. He's top side for too long. Scaling is bad on some maps. The fuck. Don't be emo. Now I have too many things I want to do. Can't I? Hell no. I better be alive till 90 or bro. I don't know if I want to be 90 years old, to be honest. Like a vegetable, like barely walking. It'll be nice to see grandkids. But like being in so much pain at 90, like 100, like limping around, bro. I don't know if I want that. I'd rather go at like 70. 60 is nothing. Push for 99. Because you don't need to stay for grandkids. Nah, that's too much. Nah, yeah, 99 is too much, bro. He starts under tube. Rotates to A. There's a lot there. He knifes pipes. Kills one. Comes back site and ults. Swings jail side. And gets traded. Not much you can do there. I think he probably could have played his life while he's ulting. Oh, that's all right. Would like him to kind of wait back sight
Last player
for
standing.
his ult.
One enemy
Get out.
remaining.
Chat's going crazy right now. Yeah, but you could chill and watch VCT in the care home at 90. I don't even think the employees at a
Spike
retirement home would even let you. They'll probably beat me up. If you start training, you're not a vegetable. You're gonna be still finished. Yeah, that's true. If I took really good care of myself now, like got really jacked, yeah, I can see myself like a grandpa with like, you know, nice health, like good health, very solid health, healthy. That's why it's important to run, like cardio. Very good for your heart, for real, or grind for radiant. Lol, Mao. I need to go to sleep. Good night, Layla. Bye bye. Bye. See ya. Message me. We'll talk about this week, right? Or wait, what day is it today? Next week, right? We said next week, right, Layla? Just let me know. Bye bye. Have a good stream tomorrow. I'll tune in tomorrow. I'll say what's up. Okay, just message me. My worst map is Icebox, and Loki cried when I say they move Abyss. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Good night. My worst map. Good night. All right, boys, we gotta lock in. Y'all getting distracted, bro. Y'all doing a little too much right now. Unplayable? What? Not even close.
Enemy spotted. A. Reloading. Target spotted. A.
Starts on A.
Reloading. Spike down A.
I'm pretty sure PR is from NA. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. My team legit will
One
force sack and they
enemy
can't
remaining.
hold it somehow. A is like the hardest thing to hold, to be honest. B is way easier to hold.
No one's gonna give you what you want.
Didn't really do anything there. Yeah, but like 4 of you can't. I mean, yeah, I agree. 4 people should hold it, but it's pretty hard to hold, to be honest. When they're dumping utility on all the angles, they're kind of it's a little bit tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Grenade.
Not gonna lie, bruh.
Spike down mid.
Is it gonna have an effect if I switch from 775 to yes? Hertz? Monitor? Of course. Unconditionally? What does that mean? Of course there'll be a big difference, bro. Start spoiler.
Flashbang.
Whiffs on the guys mid. They have bomb
One
down.
enemy remaining.
Caution. Flashbang. And we're clear.
Honestly, I think he's not a bad
Last
player.
round before the switch.
He's pretty aware of enemy locations. Aim, alright. I don't know, this guy's lying to me. He's pretty. He can body shot demon. A little whiffage. Oh yeah, no, alright. Whiffs quite a bit. Yeah, so I'm instant better. Well, it's not gonna make you instantly better. It's no like fix all solution with changing your monitor, but it'll make you react faster, able to, or see things clearer, stuff like that. You'll have like you'll gain a little bit of an advantage. It feels better, but it's not like it makes you a better player. A new monitor does not change your game sense. That's you go. Nah, it makes you gain 100. I'm so bad, Drew. Bro, maybe my eyes restarting my friend, but I don't feel like shit. What's your thoughts on Waylay, Parks? I think Waylay's good in a team atmosphere. Not ranked, pretty trash. And with the team, super strong. Like a team. Like pro play / competitive play, but okay, I think we're gonna pivot today, guys. I'm not even gonna cap.
Switching sides.
Just gonna keep writing good general notes. I
Don't
missed
get shot.
round 12. Fuck.
Human brains are hard to replace.
Bro, maybe my eyes, my eyes retarded my. Bro, what are you typing right now? I don't feel that shit. Thoughts on new KO buff? Oh, I love the KO buff, bro. I'm actually, people don't know I'm a big KO player. I played a lot of KO. He's like the first initiator I like really played was KO. I like it. I like it. Yo, Parks, if I hit a Mortal 2, are you able to help me search for tier 10? Probably,
Thanks.
for sure. If you get there though. Gotta get there, Simba. It's been a while, man. You've been stagnant on your dreams, bro. You've been screwing around with too many huzzes, man. Stop getting coaching because of the girls, bro. Come on, man. I'm saying that I don't notice the difference between 7. because I'm slow.
Throwing net.
Reloading.
There's a big difference from 75 to 360. Big difference.
One enemy remaining.
Spike planted. Grenade out.
He kills one back site. They go A, kills one back site.
If you've never seen
Tries
that
to
before,
plant
this is what it
default.
looks
Then he comes top site, sees Sova, and plants, and that's it. I'm not really there. I'm saying that I don't see. Okay, how do you even go pro on Val? I know someone get picked up just off of rank. That's a very few, my friend. A very few. That's that era, that time of getting picked up when you're from being rank 1 is over. You cannot do that anymore. That was like the first 3 years of the game. Not anymore. Not as frequently. Back then, anyone that was number 1, they'd give them a shot. Now it's not the same.
Don't miss me.
There's just too many teams already formed, right? Too many players that are pro that will not give up that, not the spot of number 1, but their team spot on the tier 1, tier 2 team. Didn't Primi do it? Yeah, he did too. But it's very few. Very few do that. Very few. Should I queue with friends that are like 3 or 4 times rank better than me, or should I solo queue? Prepare me the
One
kill.
enemy remaining.
5 dead.
As much as this world hurt me, it's mine, and I will kill to defend it.
Reloading.
Caution.
Reloading.
The house around 14, I'm pretty sure.
Caution. Stealing sight. Spikes down. Shadows traveling.
Spike down B. Last player standing. Team Ace.
Let's make a plan. Let's execute.
Yeah, I don't know if, yeah, I might have to pivot, boys, not even gonna lie. This is kind of a little bit
I
unfortunate.
find it's very difficult to try.
Yeah, I know, so
try and communicate with them.
I was just talking to my stream too about this.
Yeah.
It might be a pivot type of day.
Sorry, you broke up then.
I said it might be a pivot type day, so it might not be a
Yeah, yeah.
traditional session, a first session.
Yep.
This is kind of what I do when, you know, there's stomps or these type of stuff where we can't get a full look at your game.
My own.
Yep.
I'll make you play probably 2 more games after this one. We'll talk after this game though.
Yeah, that's fine.
I wrote notes, so
There. There.
Obstacle removed.
Deployed.
somebody ban this guy, please. Simba, ban him, please.
Come get it. Flash.
I know exactly
if you're here.
where you are.
If not, I'll ban him.
Last player standing.
I'll do it. Okay, good. Thanks.
Throwing net.
Bro, some of my other mods just like sit there and just ban these bots all day. Like Jace, he's just banning them out all the time. So
You leave
funny.
me for scrap, I'll kill you. I'm saving.
I gotta focus. I can't even tell him to make plans. I was gonna be like, make plans. I just realized he doesn't have comms. Like, what?
Caution. Shutting them down.
Spike down A.
Cause EU server don't have comms right now.
Last player standing.
The enemy only looks composed. Their hearts tell a different story.
I'm saving.
Make me proud.
Knife deployed.
Nice, good job, Simba. Good luck on the interview, bro. The college is not paying you anymore. That's quite sad. It's not. I played 20 minutes ago. Maybe it's him.
Nowhere to run!
Spikes down.
Spike down. Attacker spawn.
Kill. Spike retrieved.
Reloading.
Caution.
30 seconds left.
180 KS. What's up, bro?
Player standing.
You can put in
Spike
type.
down.
You can
Attacker
type in
spawn.
exclamation mark student to know what rank.
I have the spike.
Just for future reference. Just go like this. I'll do it for you. Okay. Now you know, my brother. You can do it on any student, anytime. Comes back B and dies. Needs to go A. They were both B. Is he on Frankfurt? I don't know. No idea. What server? What server are you on?
Watch me.
This should be London EU.
London? Okay. London. He said London.
There might be Paris in there as well. For some reason I've got to select two.
If anything, after this game, just restart and then we'll see if that
Yeah.
shit.
Caution. Spike planted.
One enemy remaining.
What do you think he could do better with? What?
Flawless.
I think he's pretty good at picking fights and fighting. His game sense needs a little bit of work. Understanding a little bit more of the fundamental concepts, I guess. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe instead of him playing, we'll see if his comms are back on or not.
Cover going out.
Doing a thing. Enemy inside B. Reloading. There. No escape.
Caution.
My ult ready.
Shutting them down. Too suppressed. Caution.
Spike down B.
Tarks, you have monthly subscriptions for your coaching, or is it just pay? Well, no, not monthly. It's per session, but if there was someone to do multiple days a week, then I would definitely give them a little bit of a better deal. We talked about this before, Simba.
They think themselves are equals. They are
That'd be
mistaken.
cool if I did a monthly subscription. Nah, I didn't change it. Still per session. A7 Ryzen, what's up, bro? Yep, you can. It's paid coaching though. I don't do free coaching anymore, sir. Sorry. If you're looking for free coaching, I'm just letting you know. A lot of students come to me looking for free coaching. I'm like, bro, that was like the first week. Shit's over. How much is it? It's $30 for the first assessment session, and then it's $20 for sessions after.
where you
No one walks away. Blinding. Reset.
Last player standing.
There's no need for the enemy to suffer. Kill them fast.
How long is it? First session's about 2 to 4 hours, and then sessions after are usually 2 to 3 hours in that range. First session's always the longest one.
Heads down, guns up, get deadly.
Enemy spotted mid.
The hunt begins.
They kind of
Last
default
player standing.
around. He goes up, nest on A and on the ropes, but
Match
dies.
Stay alive. I want their life, not yours.
Unimportant. Cover going out. Deployed.
Reloading.
Caution.
Go ahead. Stand your ground.
No targets.
Also, guys, I'm thinking about changing the format a little bit. I might switch to VOD review just for the
Spike
first
down B.
assessment session, so that way we save time. I save time, and I can fit more people in a day.
Last player standing.
Bro, since you told me the barrel sticking out the smoke, I've been trying to move sideways and been getting a lot more kills. Good job.
Defenders win.
Alright, GG's. So go ahead
Yeah.
and restart your game real quick. We'll see what's up with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Hopefully it's an easy fix. Because I have some EU guys in the stream right now saying that it's
Mhm.
working. It's working. So I think it's server, but it could be you too.
I don't know. I know sometimes if the game's been open for so long and I've not been playing it, there's some weird thing. But... Yeah, I was sometimes going to look at and make sure I'm not entering it, so any emails are coming up or.
Sorry, say that again.
That's what I was about to just close down, just in case there was any emails or anything that popped up.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, don't want to dox yourself.
Yeah.
So I sent you these notes from the game.
Okay.
Then we'll just kind of go over your general notes. Later, Sly. I'll see you, bro. Take care. I jump spot smokes not all the time, but sometimes. True.
It's now coming up. We're having trouble signing you in. I might need to restart my PC.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll wait. It's all
shouldn't
good.
take too long. I'll be back in a
Okay,
second.
cool. Any question, guys, while we wait? Alright, cool. No worries.
I've tried one more thing. Ah, there we go. It's worked. Right, I've done something.
Yo, what? That setup pick close by the mouth. Not sure. Bro, ban this guy. Why is Claire's picture like? Yeah, share your screen whenever you can.
Yeah, well done. Was there any lagginess or anything to the game?
Sorry?
Was there any stuttering or lagginess?
No lagging, anything
Okay,
like that.
good.
No, you missed the guy. You missed the guy up there. Grubby, Curran, this fucking guy spamming his bots shit. Okay, give me 1 second.
Yep.
Okay, that's that. So we'll just kind of briefly touch on these notes real quick. So I was trying to think. I was like, should I make it play 2 more? Or we deep dive this game, but bro, honestly, like for us to deep dive this game it's a little bit because there's no comms. That's I think the biggest
Yeah.
thing in terms of deep diving is I want to know what you're thinking, what you're talking, how you're communicating, because that to me shows if you understand a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
Because you'll tell them to rotate or make plans or stuff like that. So we'll just touch.
I think
Yeah,
there was. Yeah.
you have something to say? Go ahead.
There was one round where I seen two of them go towards A, and I wanted to fake it. So
Right.
I was trying to tell them, and then obviously I was
Yeah.
too busy looking at the Reyna and got killed by the Tahoe
Right. And you
instead of
can't. You
picking a
can't.
corner.
I even
Yeah.
was gonna tell you at one point, because I was like, okay, there's no comms. Maybe I should talk to him. So I was about to tell him. I was
Yeah.
about to tell you, let's make plans. But I was like, oh wait, he's got no comms. Can't
That's
even
how
make
I was like, I
fucking
want to
plans.
rotate. Let's
Because
go
that's
B
something
instead. Yeah.
I tell my students to do a lot is make plans, make a plan, do something, as in talk with the
Yeah.
team, right? Because that's what most people struggle with. But yeah, not a big deal. So we'll just talk with your stuff. So we're gonna rule out comms because obviously it wasn't there. So
Yeah.
it's hard for us to talk about something that is non-existent because the servers or whatever. Okay, but what I'll just touch on some key notes. Okay, this is what I tell most of all my students is that I want you to be that guy where um, you are the leader. You are the IGL. Okay, you're a bit older, so we can both relate on this. Usually my students
Mhm.
are like 21, 24, 16, 17. They don't have leadership skills like we do, right? We've walked through life a little bit more. Are you an athlete by any chance?
Yeah, I play well football,
Okay,
golf, go to the gym.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you can understand, how important it is to have a leader or being that leader, right? He's Mr. Reliable. He answers all the questions that some people cannot, right? Even if he may feel he can't. Um, but that's the type of communicator I would like you to be, a high level communicator, not a good communicator, an elite communicator. Feed info. And I'm looking past you guys not talking, so I'm just giving you some tips for future reference where uh, I want you to feed all the info to your team. Um, Everything. Hey, I'm leaving you, bro. Guys, I'm walking down mid this round. Guys, let's group up. Guys, we need to go now. Guys, we need to leave. I need you to be that type of player that to develop yourself to being that person where you're the best player, right? And I'll ask you a question. Will the best player in the lobby or on his team not talk or lead his team to direct them in productive ways?
No, they'll direct them.
Right. He's not gonna sit there and just play with his cock. Right. He's gonna tell his team what they need to do, what we're gonna do, what he's identified. So this is the type of communicator I would like you to be. Be a leader. Be specific and detailed as well. Okay. Most students, they hear one guy, they're like, all of them, they're running, come. And then
Yeah.
what do you think happens when they call all there and there's
Everyone
only
goes.
everybody rotates to them, right? So you can understand that, and that's a problem because most of the times when
Yeah.
that happens, everyone rotates to them, but then they end up going to the other side of the map, and no space is accounted for. No one knows what the hell is going on mid or across the map. So I would like you to not only be a leader, but also be specific and detailed. We can identify how many enemies there are not only by footsteps, but by gunshots and also utility usage, right? Their footsteps, then also the guns they're using. If it's an op plus a vandal and a phantom, that's 3 different people, right? And then also you can identify how many there are by utility usage. If they throw a raised nade and an ISO and vulnerability, plus you see a brim shooting his molly in the air, that's 3 different people. So be specific and detailed and identify and then call it out and be specific and detailed. Make sure it's very specific when you're calling out things, especially about enemy positioning or enemies in general. Okay, so that's that. And then also I would like you to, I'm not sure if you do this because I couldn't see you communicate, but this is just a tip again. Just be an IGL. You know what IGL means, right?
No, I was going to
Okay.
ask that.
So IGL means in-game leader. Okay.
Okay.
It's in almost all competitive games: Dota 2, League of Legends, Counter Strike, Valorant, Spectre Divide, any type of 5v5 team game, Overwatch, Marvel Rivals. There's always a IGL, right? He has the responsibility of making calls mid round, late game rounds, and then also applying the things that the coach has, for example, in a pro setting, he will be the one telling his team what the coach has told him, right? He's the one that needs to apply a lot of the concepts, their team's philosophies, stuff like that. And usually, the team's philosophy actually stems from the IGL because he's the brain of the team, right? He's the leader, so it's usually his philosophies that are what control, not controls, but influence the team He has that role. It's a role, right? Just how some guys are duelists, some guys are. Yes, you can be an initiator and an IGL. Yes, you can be a smokes and an IGL, but it's a next responsibility where other players don't have. One guy has that, so it's a very crucial. And usually, traditionally, the IGL is the most experienced, the smartest, uh, can figure out things, can adjust quickly, those type of stuff, can identify. That's a key thing in all high level gaming, high level traditional sports. It's not about the mechanics. It's about identification. Should we go? Should we not go? Do we need to group up? Do we need to rotate? Should we run a fake? Do we need to run a fake? What are they doing? It's all about identification. So that's something you have to keep in mind. All right. So those things I would like you to focus on for communication,
Okay.
even though I didn't get to see you do it, which I would have liked to, but it's fine. Happens. Unlucky. The next thing is aim. I wrote he can body shot demon, as in you're a little bit of a body shot demon.
Yep.
But you also can delete. So you're kind of in the middle ground where there is some inconsistencies, but you do show shining lights of you deleting people, which I want. And what do you think I tell all my students in terms of aim? What do I want from them?
Not to body shot and go for the headshots.
Sure. Okay. But not
Or you
just
want them to delete. You want them to delete them.
Yes,
You
I
don't want.
want
Yeah. You
them
want.
to
You want to
delete
instant
them.
delete.
I
Yeah.
want. I'm sure you've seen that in the vault.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
Instant deletions, no exceptions, no excuses. And obviously, we're all human. We all whiff. We all cannot
Yeah.
always instant delete. But if we adopt that mindset where all the time, need it all the time, if it's not a headshot, it's not a kill, what do you think will happen?
You're
More,
either
more than not.
yeah,
Most of the time.
not die.
Well. No, I'm saying if we keep in our mind that we want to instantly delete people all the time
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
whiff, what will happen?
You're gonna concentrate more and end up doing it.
Exactly. That's the answer I'm looking for. You're gonna end up doing it. It's gonna end up becoming life. It's gonna end up becoming the way you shoot. It's gonna be instant deletions. And this is something I used to obsess over myself. I would tell myself, headshots give me dopamine. If it's not a headshot, not a kill. I don't care. People used to even tell me 1 HP, 1 HP, like a 1v1 situation. What do you think I used to do? I would one tap him. And obviously I fixed that later. But in the beginning, early stages of me getting better at aiming, that's what I would do. I'd still go for the headshot because I was like, I need to delete this guy.
Yeah, I get that.
Right?
I completely get it.
But obviously, I kind of fixed that. I'm like, okay, if it's 1 HP, I'll have to just tap him one time. I don't got a headshot. So it's a little bit of a presence of mind thing there. But that's why it's important that, or not why, but it's important that we can instant delete. That's what I expect from you. That's what I expect from myself. That's what I expect from all my students. Okay, so have this standard to yourself, and sooner or later, if you keep thinking like that, that will be life. That will be law. That will be the way you shoot. You'll always instantly delete people, and I'll help you work on some stuff at the end,
Yep.
to kink these out. So that's that. The next thing is whiffs quite a bit, so it's kind of tied in there. I got to see a little bit of your aim. When I think about it, it's pretty strong. Just need to just refine it, tighten it up a little bit, and you're on the way to having really, really nice aim.
See, I have changed recently my sensitivity,
Okay.
so I'm not sure if I'm way too high or. But
What is your sense?
currently, I'm using 800 DPI. On
0.36.
0.36.
Okay, we're pretty similar. I'm on point. If I'm on 1600 right now, but if I'm on 800, and I used to always be on 800. I just recently made the change, but I was 800.48, but now
Yeah.
I'm on 800.4 when I'm on 800. So I'm on
Okay.
1600.2. So we're similar and thing. It's all
Yeah.
about preference. What were you before?
I was 700 DPI, and I was about 0.32.
The fuck?
So, yeah,
700 DPI.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
really seen that before. Yeah, just keep in mind you should be staying on 400, 800, 1600, even 3200.
Yeah, I watched a few videos and realized,
Yeah, because that's just, I don't know, this is kind of how DPI works. It's better to have it on 400, 800, 1600. I don't know, they figured it out, some shit like that. Okay, it's better, it's probably better anyways. So that's that. Oh, I think it's because there's odd numbers, so when you cut them, the DPI gets weird, right? It's like 350 now instead of 400, so you can't evenly
Yeah.
cut it in half, so it's a little bit different. Okay, anyway, so that's that. Just remember its preference. Higher sense, like higher EDPI, not sense, but EDPI kind of means that you're gonna have good mouse control, but the precision falls off a little bit, and the lower EDPI, you're gonna have high precision, but the mouse control speed won't be there. It's not gonna feel as smooth. So it's all about a trade-off. You're in the medium low. That's what I'll say, because you're like, because 0.4 800 is like medium, on the cusp of medium high, but if you're
Mm.
lower, like 0.36, then you're definitely on the low medium side. So keep that in mind. I used to be on the high side. I was 360 DPI. Now I'm about 320 or so. We're about similar. You're probably like 290, something like that. We gotta calculate it, but and it's easy to calculate. All you have to do is your DPI multiplied by your sense is your EDPI. Okay.
Okay.
So that's that. And then you could always an ED. You know what EDPI is, right?
I have seen it, but I can't remember the
Okay,
actual
so-
terminology or the
So,
description.
Not much different. So DPI is just your mouse dots per square inch, right? EDPI
Mhm.
is kind of like your dots per square inch, regardless of what DPR sense you are. So, for example, if I were to have 1600.2 and another person has 0.4 800, we're on different sense, right? 0.4 and 800 DPI, but the sense is actually like we're on different settings, but the DPI is actually
DPI is
is
the
the
same.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same EDPI. So we actually it's relatively the same. It's just the setting is slightly tweaked where there's some pros and another trade-off there with 1600 versus
Yeah.
800. 800 is usually more the arm aiming. 1600 requires more forearm, wrist, stuff like that. Okay, so let's move on. Utility usage. I would like him to use more flashes. I can understand why
Yeah.
you didn't use so many. You don't have comms. You don't want to flash your teams. Okay, but there's still some times where um, you can take some fights with the flashes that you
Yeah.
didn't because you're a little bit shying away from that. That's fine. Whatever. We'll move on. Okay, the next thing is need to use his molly as well. How many times did you use your molly?
Probably about a handful.
Probably, right. I would agree.
Yeah.
Probably a handful. I would say probably around 2 to 4 times, maybe less than 4, maybe 4. I'll give you the benefit of that, like
Yeah.
2 to 5. Okay, but it's too little. The whole game using it 2 to 5 times, bro. I'd rather you throw it in the air, waste it, than what you did. Okay, just throw it,
Yeah.
chuck it somewhere, just throw it around. Throw it on your teammate is better than what you're doing every round. Okay, and obviously that's an over exaggeration, but just use it is what I'm trying to say. First is to use it, then is to use it well, right? Just expend it. Just start throwing it around wherever you think people
Yeah.
will be. Then you start learning how I can get better at it, how I can add value, where they're sitting, and then throw it. Have lineups, whatever it is, okay, stuff like that. The next thing is needs to find good KO knife spots. So this a little bit requires experience.
Yeah.
Watching Radiant streamers use KO, stuff like that. That's kind of how I learned my, because I'm a KO player myself. That's the
Okay.
first initiator I played. But it's kind of comes with experience, and also watching the best play KO. So that way you see where they knife and stuff like that. They figured out. Also, one way you can do it by yourself without watching them is go around the map and just start throwing your knives everywhere. See where it will hit from your, like, obviously like your side versus where they'll start, right? To gain
Yeah.
info. So that's what you'll do. Like, for example, on A, on Icebox, go on Rafters, shoot. What I do on A is I shoot it down all the way belt to where they start, where they jump up
Yeah.
on belt. So that way it gives me info. Sometimes I'll switch it up to the right side part of where they come out in on the wall, stuff like that. So it's all about trying and stuff like that. B is, I'll I'll start boiler. You know where boiler is, right? Where you start middle,
Yeah.
and I will throw it. There's a crack from mid wall, like that mid gray wall, and then B main. There's
Yeah.
a slight sliver where you can throw it there, and it'll catch everybody in B main. Maybe I can show you quickly, but I gotta log in actually. Fuck. Okay, but yeah, that's that. So
Yeah, because I
maybe
noticed that they figured out I was throwing it in the same location, so I
Right.
decided to move it or not throw it and
they'll-
rotate to a
they'll
different.
either wait it out or they'll
Yeah.
break it, right? And
Yeah.
you don't want either or, because that means your knife has no value. They're just not doing anything.
Yep.
So that's that. All right, so we'll kind of move on. from there. I would like you to switch it up as well, and also find new spots, figure out things, just see where the knife can go through the wall, stuff like that. That's the beauty with KO knife. There's no really like good lineups because it's so strong. It can go through so many walls that you can literally just throw it anywhere and get some info. Usually is the case. Okay, and then what I do is I start changing the tempo up, or the timing. So for example, let's say the first 5 rounds, I instantly threw the knife, right? I know that they know that I'm throwing it instantly, so I switch it up. I'll wait 3 seconds, then throw it. Because then when they don't see it for 3 seconds, they'll be like, oh, he's not throwing it here. And then they'll start walking up, running up, and I just unexpectedly throw it, right? And then usually it'll ping everybody or multiple people at least. So that's what thing I'll say with KO tips and tricks is make sure you're switching up the tempo, the timing of your knife. Okay, so that's that. The next thing I wrote for a movement positioning is he likes to take default fights, as in fights that are pretty normal that a lot of students don't take. They'll shy away, or they don't even know how to take those fights, or even know they're
Mhm.
supposed to take that fight. Very what's the word? I'm losing my mind, but it's all good. Yeah, just I think you like to take default fights quite a bit, and you're pretty good at it. It's not like you'll lose those fights all the time. Um, but yeah, just gotta work on the inconsistencies there and making sure that we kind of value our life a little bit. Sometimes you're 1 HP and you're just still re-peaking. I would like you to kind of um, take smarter fights and then value your life. Like for example, on A, you got a kill, you ulted backside on with KO, and then you just swung belt and died. Right? You should just let out your ult fully, go out all the pings, like it be used full duration, then die. Um, Stay up is what I'm trying to say. Value your life there. It's important.
Yeah.
You just swung out and died. But yeah, that's yeah. You have something to say?
No, it is something I don't tend to do quite a lot. Is I'll just rush everything.
Yeah.
I need to be more patient. I'm not the type of person. I like to
I agree with
push
that.
in.
You also rotate the first contact like all the time. There's any contact, you're literally just W keying it there. You gotta
Yeah.
account for space better. Even I know you know they're going A, but figure out whether they're gonna lurk up mid or it's not
Yeah.
an execute. It could be a fake. You gotta open your mind up to these things, and um, we'll maybe talk about this now, but it's important that you know all the attacking concepts, and that was coming up. But okay, yeah, we'll save it for when it's coming up in the next section.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. So you like to take default fights. I just want you to take better fights. Like be smart about them. Don't just W key into these fights all the time, and then make sure you're gonna win them. You're gonna delete them because it's all about man advantage in this game as well. Yep. The next thing is he's always shift walking out angles. A lot of the times you're slow walking out corners. You got a wide swing when you believe people are looking there. Okay? Because when you slow walk out, they can see you before you see them, and you'll die a lot of the times. You're not getting punished for it right now in this elo, but I prepare
Yeah.
all my students for them to be prepared for the higher elos, not where they are. I don't teach them to how to play where they are. I teach them to how to play like a high level, a mortal player, even if they're gold or whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, so understand that. Fix it now before it's a problem later. So fix it now. Stop shift walking out all these angles,
Okay.
all these corners. What you have to do is once you get to a corner and you want to peek it or come out, stop shift walking, position yourself where you're parallel with the wall and swing wide, and then start shooting and dumpstering kids. Because it also makes you faster when you wide swing. You cannot react as fast. They cannot get that edge on you. Okay, just keep that in mind. That's just Valorant mechanics. Don't ask me why it's like that. Just the way they made the game like that. Okay, it's very strange. Okay, but that's that, and it makes sense to be honest though. The next thing is
No, it does. It does.
game sense and mental game. He's pretty aware of enemy locations. You're pretty good with identifying where people are, like how the count of players and kind of seeing where they are. Um, but that's the first step, knowing how many are there. What do you think the next step is?
Identifying who it is.
That good. Identifying who it is. We gotta know exactly which agent it is as well. Oh, two here, guys. It's an Omen and a Cypher. It's a Cypher
Yeah.
and Reyna. That's very important. So be specific in detail with your communications in terms of that part. And I know all these categories are separated. We're going into one by one. But one thing I tell all my students too is that these categories are all together. They're all combined. You got to have all these categories in harmony and or on the same page, or you will be an inconsistent player or not a solid player. You got to have all these skills working together at a high level, all of them. Okay. There's some rounds you're going to use game sense and mental game with your comms, or aim plus comms plus utility usage. There's endless combinations of these categories, and there are subcategories within these, but these are the big umbrellas that I look at. Okay, so that's that. Just be not just aware of where they are, but who it is. That's very important. That's information in itself. If we have a cipher and omen on A, that means they're not going B. They're going A because they have no smokes for B. They're never ever going B. Okay, so that and stuff like that. If I see a cipher alone, I know he's the solo lurker. His team is opposite of where the cipher is. So it's information in itself. Okay, it's very important that you kind of understand these things. The next thing is needs to understand attacking concepts better. So we'll touch on this.
Yeah.
Do you know what the attacking
Yeah.
concept? There are not many. Do you know what they are?
I don't know. I'm not sure of them, but
Okay.
I know I'm better. I'm much better at defense than I am attacking.
Sure. That's
And I know that.
that's literally everybody. Everybody. I've said this so many times in my words. I'm like, you have a good defense side, but that's the easy side. I'm like, attacking side is what you need to get down. Okay, that for everybody, every role does not matter. You got to be good on attack because it's the harder side. Okay, we got to get good at the hard side and be decent on the, or even better, or just decent on the good side, the easy side, and you'll be a good player. Okay, so we'll go through this. So there are only so many concepts. Okay, so there are lurking. Okay, inserting lurk, so that's one. Lurking or / inserting a lurk. Okay, can you try to identify what that is? Very simple, this one.
Inserting.
Yep. Inserting a lurk and lurking. It's the same thing, but it's slightly different.
Well, I think lurking is when you're going. If your three are going at A, and then one's pushing, well, two or one's pushing mid.
Sure.
Or and then inserting is that one person is going B to fake it, and then the rest of the team's going the opposite.
Nope.
Not probably not right, but
I'll kind of touch on this.
Yeah.
So, lurking is very simple. It's for the one person to come up by himself, lurk up into the defensive lines or mid. Usually it's about around mid, and
Yeah.
Valorant is about lurking up mid, coming mid late. I'm sure you've heard that before. Come mid late,
Yep.
lurk up late, lurk mid, bro. Can you lurk somewhere? Can we all lurk? Stuff like that. It's a solo endeavor. It's where you go up and you're having an element of surprise, an element of control of space, and also gathering information and causing chaos as well. So it's a little bit of a lot of stuff involved. But that's pretty much the main thing with lurking. Inserting a lurk is more advanced, where we use our team's contact to tell the enemy where we're gonna go, but then we insert a lurk somewhere. It's in the name. Insert a lurk. You put in a lurk somewhere off using your team's contact. Where obviously it's gonna make sense, right? But
Yeah.
it's kind of like having a player linger around because you guys have shown you guys are all rotating, so one guy just starts lurking up where you guys just were, but they start rotating, so the space is free, right? So it's more advanced, but inserting a lurk is putting somebody somewhere to lurk up off using our team's contact. So usually it's the case. Okay, so that's that. Defaulting. Do you know what defaulting is?
This is something I genuinely don't know.
Good.
I hear it a lot, but
Yes.
I'm
This
not
is
aware of what it actually
one of
is.
the most common concepts that are used very, not only in pro play but in rank, but it's just very not common, but it's a very strong tool. Okay, it counters a lot of different enemy play styles. Okay, so defaulting is where we spread out across the map. Okay, you can default on defense as well. No, it's not so much a defensive concept, but it's more an attacking concept where we're gonna spread out across the map, 5 people. Okay, maybe I should log in and show you this part. But we're gonna spread up across the map to gain control, to have control, okay, and gather information, as in, oh, the cipher's here, the cipher's not here, and play for picks, and then we regroup off either we've killed somebody or we've identified something, like, wait, there's 3 on A on Haven, and we're all spread out, like there's 1 C-long, there's 1 grass, there's 1 mid doors, there's 2 on A, and they're like, yo, there's 4 here. We're just gonna immediately all start running C, right? So that's what defaulting is, where we're spread out on the map, controlling space, taking our 1v1s, little skirmishes here and there, gathering information, getting kills, that's a bonus, and then we regroup, and then we hit the weak side. We've identified where to go. We've calculated off defaulting, gathering information, seeing which agents were where, and then we group up and decide where to go off whatever the situation is. Okay, I can't give you a textbook answer, but that's defaulting. Okay, any questions on that? Do you understand that?
No, I understand that. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, I want to make sure you understand that, because we won't be able to move on if you don't understand this. Okay, let me just log in real quick. The next thing is, where are we? The next thing is, so we got lurking, inserting lurk plus default, right? The next thing is contacting. Do you know what contacting is?
Nope.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I'll explain what contacting is. Contacting is where we decided we're gonna walk up quietly up, no noise. For example, let's say on Icebox, we're gonna be like, guys, you could choose. It can be a 1-man contact up, 5-man contact, whatever. The world is yours. You can be like, guys, I want a 3-man contact up A. What that means is that when you say contact, people automatically know means quietly. That's how you have to think about it. Contacting,
Yeah.
taking contact is slow, and we're kind of clearing corners and making no noise. Okay, that's the key. When someone says contact up, don't just start running around. They're gonna be like, what? Well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? So you gotta know these things. But contacting is just quietly walking up until they see us. So for example, we call a 3-man contact up A, right, on Icebox. Let's say somebody jump peeks us and sees us on pipes. We're gonna start exploding immediately. We're gonna either start running it down on A or start running away. So obviously that's a little bit situational. It really depends on what the situation is. But most of the time, what happens is they'll say, guys, contact up, and we'll contact up, 3 or 4 people, and then one guy sees us, we start immediately exploding. We'll start throwing our smokes down, throwing utility backside, and executing the site, because the ruse is over, right? The ruse is over. They know where we are now, right? It's supposed to be an element of surprise thing. There are times you contact and nobody peeks you, so you guys contact all the way into sight and it's free. That's more rare. That does happen, but it's all about understanding when to explode, and that to know when to explode is off enemy. If the enemy sees you while you guys are contacting, it's time to go or rotate. You have to decide that off whatever the situation is. But any questions on that one?
No, that one makes sense.
Okay, so that's what contacting is. Okay, the next one is executes, or rushing. Very simple. Can you try to answer this one?
I'm assuming rushing is 5-man rush. Say A, everyone's rushing it to force either push the team back or
So,
to get execute kills.
Yeah, so I'll just put that under execute, as in go A, as in go run down. It's not rushing. You can just kind of, I shouldn't say rushing. It's execute, as in a site hit. I should probably say it's just we've decided to hit this site and that's finished, right? Either whether it's run it down, split it, do it slowly, whatever. It's just hitting the site. We're gonna go. Okay, so very very simple, that one, right? Hold on, let me share my screen. So the next one is fakes. Very self-explanatory. Okay, do you know what fakes are?
Yeah, making noise, maybe throwing a dart A, like I did at A, to make them think that we're going to A, or we're going that way.
Yep, good.
And then going the opposite.
So faking is a
Four
tool,
hostiles trying to kill
is a
us.
misdirection concept, right? It's to make them believe we're going A, but we're gonna end B. Hold on, let me just turn this shit on real quick. Sorry.
My ult's ready.
Okay, so for example, it's a misdirection tool. We want them to believe we're going A, because let's say we even conditioned them to believe we're going A. We went A 3 rounds in a row, so then we start making a bunch of noise. They're coming over here making noise. We're throwing some smokes and flashes and some utility out here. Okay, and then we even come up all the way here to sell the fakes. Most of the time, that's what you have to do in the higher levels. You can't just come up to there and start running away to B. It's not gonna work. You gotta come up here, make a bunch of fucking noise, make it look like you're coming out, start throwing our stuff out, start spamming everywhere. Okay, then we end B. So what happens is when we make all that noise, especially when we condition them, we're going A a lot, they start leaning towards A. They won't full rotate, but they'll lean. They'll have 3 guys here with 1 mid and then 1 guy solo B. So that's around 4 players. But then we end B, right? So it's a misdirection tool. Okay, you can fake A, go B, fake mid, go A, whatever it is. It's all that is it's a misdirection tool. Okay, so the next thing is a rehit. Do you know what rehitting is?
I think well, initially attacking, say A side, backing off, and then hitting it again.
Yep, so you're kind of correct. So it's another misdirection tool, but it's slightly different where we don't want them to believe we're going, or I should say it like this. So it's a misdirection tool in the sense that we're making it believe we're faking to go B. We're faking the
Yeah.
rotation. We're making them believe we're leaving, but we're coming back. You know how like the fake is really we're trying to make them believe we're going A, but then we
Yeah.
go B, we end B. Rehit is more we're making it believe that it's we're trying to make the enemies believe it's a fake, as in we're going A, we're pretending like we're going A, even though we do. We're just making a lot of noise, so they lean here, but then we pretend we're leaving. So we're like
Yeah.
masking it like a fake, but it's not. It's a double back. We're coming back to come A, and what will happen here is we make a bunch of noise here on A. They start leaning, right? The keyword is leaning. 3, 1 mid, anchor B. Okay. Then when we make a bunch of noise that we're rotating, okay, what are they saying to each other? Let's try to get in the minds of the enemy. What will they say to each other?
We need to push B, leave one at A.
Sure.
Or-
Well, not push me.
or-
They'll say,
not
guys, they're
push me,
rotating. They're
rotate.
leaving. They're leaving.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
leaving. So they start booking it back B. And what will happen is usually there'll be one guy still sitting, usually or none. But what we're trying to get them to do is spread thin again. They were stacked on A, but now they're starting to spread thin to account for space because we're making it look like we're going B. So they gotta clear mid, pick up mid again, kitchen, come B, and what happens is usually they'll start leaning B. So then they'll have 2 B, 1 mid, or 2 mid, and then 1 A. They're spread thin, right? Now we just execute an A and take a 5v1, 5v2 instead of a 5v3, 5v4, 5v3.5 because there's 3 here and 1 mid. That's pretty much 4 people, right? So it's another misdirection tool. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so we have lurking, defaulting, contacting, fakes, rehits. I'm pretty sure I'm missing one more. I'm trying to think, brainstorm real quick. Yeah, I'm pretty sure maybe that's everything actually. Okay, but anyways, there's not that many concepts. Okay, just
Yeah.
understand. Once we understand these easy, basic concepts, it's very, very easy to win games. Okay, and you don't want to apply these concepts randomly, just out your ass. Oh, we're just gonna run a fake here. Oh, we just want to run a rehit. Oh, I just want to try this out because I saw it in VCT. Why? When should we identify to know which concept to use? Can you try to identify this?
Is it depending on what's happened previously, or
Sure, that could be one. What else? Just try to. There's no wrong answer. Just try to name all of it as much as you can.
knowing what characters are playing where?
Okay, so the
If there's
enemy
a
accounting for
server,
where
yeah.
they
So
play.
if server's playing mid constantly, then you know where each player is, or
Sure.
you know where trips are. Cipher.
What else? So you got a little bit of it, right?
Individual, no?
Individual enemies. Okay.
Yeah.
But think about the question: when would we try to figure out a concept to use? When? What have we done for us to use this concept?
Did we lose a round? Are they down a round? Are they?
Nothing
no?
to lose. Nothing to do about losing or winning a round. Nothing with that. Okay, I'll just tell you.
Yeah. Thanks.
When we and you know, it's important that you can identify though. I can't
Yeah.
always give my students answers.
No,
If
of
that was
course.
the case, they would not be able to understand. That's why I ask these questions, not to see if you're dumb, it's to open up your mind.
Yeah.
But why or when we decide to make a concept is after we try to identify what the enemy are doing. Okay, this is the key thing. This is really what Valorant is about.
Okay. So once you've gained the information, you know. Yeah. Okay.
Right. and not just random information. It needs to be specific,
Yeah.
detailed, and you gotta account for exactly. It's gotta be accurate information, as in you're 100% sure that or you guys 100% know this guy's playing there. This is their style. Okay, but this is important. Okay, so we'll touch on this now. Okay, I think it's very important. So it's like fundamentals of Valorant. So I've taught you the concepts, right? Why, when we need to do it is after we understand how the enemy play. Okay, it's very important that we can identify not only how they play as a whole, okay, but individually. And I'll ask a series of questions, or give us a couple examples now. So I'm sure you've played a team, even though it's ranked 5v5, to you've experienced a team. Let's say you are on defense, right? You've experienced a
Yep.
team where they're on attack and they pick A, they just run it down. They pick B, they run it down. They go mid to B, they run it down. They go mid to A, they run it down. Wherever they choose initially, they just go. There's no rotation, right? They just run it down on you guys.
Yeah.
I'm also sure, 100% sure, that you've played a team as well where they start A, then they go B, then they go mid, and then they end A. They plant the bomb on A.
Yeah.
Or they go B, they go mid, they come back B, then they go A, then they go back B. Some bullshit like that. You guys are just running around like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Like, can you guys just hit a site? Right? I'm sure you've
Yeah.
experienced that. Where they play super cringe is how I like to call it. Super cringe. Just running around, just cannot even take a site. 5-man. They're just like trying to get us to move around, run around, do cardio. Right? It's not only important, and there's also teams where you've experienced where they're super defaulty. They just sit in their spawn waiting for people to walk down, or stuff like that, right? So it's not only important to understand how they play as a team, as a whole. It's really important to understand how they play individually. Oh, this Cypher has walked down mid 5 times. He's lurking solo. Oh, this Reyna's always with the Jet B main. Wait, they always do a 3-man contact up. Wait, this guy's always by himself here. Wait, this guy's always in a corner here, etc., etc. Obviously, even though we can pick up what they're doing as a whole, you can pick up what they're doing individual as well. Wait, this guy's always darting here all the time, even if they're running it down. It's
Yeah,
always in
I
this
think-
exact spot. The molly is always over here. The smokes is always here in rafters. Stuff like that. Okay, and you're a bit older, so you probably know what this means. Okay, it's called tendencies and frequencies.
Yep.
And I know you're a smart guy. I'm not trying to ask because you're stupid. What is tendencies?
Tendencies is something that where someone does something all the time, or they're constantly doing that.
Sure, I like that
again
second
and
part.
again.
Yeah, what they're constantly doing, what they like to do, how they like to do it, right? What is frequencies?
Frequency. There's a variation. It's not constant as it was. There's a
Right.
frequency where like I was playing B mid the entire time, but
Sure.
I'd still be playing B, but different.
How you
different
have to think
area
about
would be.
this is in which the rate it is. That's how you have to think about it. Is it every
Okay.
round? Is it every other round? Is it 10 times a round? Is it once a game? Once a half? Right? For example, I'll give you a very simple, easy one that I can think about on the top of my head. Okay, if a guy is lying all the time, if a guy is lying all the time, every day, he lies every day, what's his tendencies and his frequency?
His tendency is he's a liar, constantly
Good,
lying.
Good. What is his frequency?
Frequency is that there's a potential for lying and there's not to believe it.
No. So it's a little bit,
Hey, how many times I do
right.
it?
So it's every day. His
Yeah.
frequency is lies. I know that's a little bit of a bad example, but he lies every day, and his tendencies he likes to lie. So we can label this guy a liar, right? That's usually how it works in life. If a guy is a piece of shit and he's always a piece of shit, his tendencies he's a piece of shit. He acts like a piece of shit, but his frequency is he's all the time. There's no switch up of him being nice. He's just always a piece of shit. We can label him as a piece of shit, right? So that's kind of how I have to think about it. So I'll give it to you in Valorant terms now. If the Cypher has lurked, you're on defense, the Cypher has lurked by himself every round for the last 7 rounds, what are his tendencies and frequencies?
Tendency is that he goes A every round. Frequency is he's gone there 7 times.
Sure. The tendencies he lurks, you gotta be specific with language. You can't just be like he likes to go A. Okay, you gotta understand. It's very important that his tendency is he likes to lurk A main by himself all the time,
Okay.
but his frequency is it's been every single time these last 7 rounds. That means he's gonna do it again. The possibility of doing them again is very, very, very likely. Okay, so you can calculate it in that way if you want. He does it once a round, every 3 rounds, every other round he switches it up, or you could be like it's very likely, not likely, very possible, not possible, all the time, mega perma, non-existent, whatever language you like to
Yeah.
use. But it's important that you have this calculator in your head where you can identify how they play individually, tendency, what they like to do individually. Oh, this guy's perma B, this guy's always mid, this guy's this, they're always together here, and then in which the rate they're doing, the frequency. Oh, it's all the time. Sometimes. Oh, he's done it one time, that's it, he won't do it again. Oh, every other 3 rounds, whatever it is.
I always
situation.
find it depends on have they won that round. It was like
that's
the
not important.
Sova was sit.
It's not
Oh
important.
really?
Yes, not important. Whether they
Okay.
win the round or not, why is it important? Try to answer.
I don't know, because it was like the way when the Sova was sitting on the attack side A, where he had the I don't know, Odin, and basically killed all of us, and then went back there again. But I was like, there's more. There's a frequency that he's probably.
But did he
He's
do
gonna
that
miss-
because he won the
Yeah,
round?
well, I don't know. I feel like it
No,
in
but
my
try to
head.
answer. Try to answer. Did he keep doing that because he won the round or he lost the round?
No, he won the round,
Right, but I'm asking, does he
and
keep
then he
doing it
lost
because
it. Then he lost it because we'd
I know,
figured
but
out he was doing.
just answer the question. Is he doing it because he won the round or he lost the round?
I feel like because he won the round.
It's neither. That was a trick question. He does it because that's what he likes to do. The round,
Okay.
whether he loses or wins, doesn't affect what he does. That's how you have to understand.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
We are creatures of habit. Yes, there are some tendencies which kind of are influenced by our mood or kind of what's going on circumstantially, right? But generally, what's more important is just understanding their mind, what they like to do, how they'll do it, and in which rate they're doing it. Doesn't matter what the result is, whether they've won the round. Okay, because if we were to kind of pick up information like, oh, he kind of only likes to lurk when they lose the round, that's a little bit more specific, but
Okay.
generally that's kind of not a good way of thinking about it. You got to just look at it like this is just kind of what he likes to do, win or lose a round. He's just gonna do it anyways, and that's usually the case. Win or lose a round, most of the times we're a creature of habits. Humans tend to do what they like to do and what they think will work, whether they've won the round or not. And you can be an example, I can be an example, my students can be an example. I've lurked a lot of times whether I win the round or not. Doesn't matter. I keep doing it because I like to do it.
Okay.
Right? I keep fighting for A because I like to do it, whatever it is. So understand that. It's not really result orientated. It's more about, you can if you really wanted to, but it's to me it's not as important. It's really about understanding their mind. What type of person is he? What type of player is he? Okay, that's more important. So that's, I know we're gonna get carried away, but this is very important. So understand not only how they play as a whole. They're a team that's super heavy default. They're a team that runs it down. They're a team that rotates all the time. They fake every day, all day. They're a team that never commits. They're a team that runs it down. Whatever you've identified, okay. Then we gotta identify how they play individually. Okay, so and that's kind of how you have to look at it. So this is something I call the identification protocol, our checklist. So the first step is identify how are they playing as their play style. How is it as a team? Individually, this guy's here, this guy's here, this guy loves to play here, etc., etc. This guy's a lurker, this guy's a rat, this guy's a permanent anchor, whatever it is. Then we process that information. Wait, if they don't have the flashes on this side, that means this. Wait, they only have smokes on this side. They don't have flashes here. They don't have stuns here. They don't have this here. They don't have mollies here. Whatever it is, you got to think about what that means when people like to play here and they're not over here and stuff like that. The third step is to adjust, to find solutions, think of new ways, use the old concepts, get creative to figure out how to anti-strat what they're doing, especially when it's giving us problems. We got to know how to figure out solutions to their strategy. Okay, then the fourth step is to apply. We've identified how they play as a whole. Individually, we've figured out or want to try solutions / concepts to counteract what they're doing. Now we got to create plans. Okay, then tell our team specifically where to set up, which utility we want there, and then execute. Okay, so that it's a 4-step thing that you need to do not once a round, once every 10 rounds. You got to do this every round. At the start of the rounds, it's got to take 5 seconds or less for you to use this checklist, then come up with a plan. That's what I do. It takes quick. I even sometimes get ahead. When I'm dead early, I start thinking, wait, this is how they play as a whole. They're doing this now. They've adjusted. Okay, this is what they're doing individually. This guy's always mid. There's a 3-man stack here. Then I try to find solution. Okay, wait, can we run a fake here? Wait, can we run a default? Can we do a contact with a fake? Can we, let's do a rush, maybe run it down, whatever it is, situational. Okay, then I apply. Guys, this is what we're gonna do. This is what they're doing. This is what I've identified. Okay, they're fast rotating, guys. Whenever we pick a site on it, when we're on attack, they're just fast rotating. Let's run a fake. We've conditioned them to believe we're going A. Let's go. Let's end B, boys. And what's the most of the times response is yes. I like that. I was thinking the same thing too. I get that a lot. Okay, because that's how high level players think. We think on the same level where we're like, yep. Good. We've all identified this. This is what we're gonna do. And I tell them, okay, I want a Sova jet here. We'll get a drone up here. Jet's gonna come up belt. He's gonna smoke across, fake dash, make a bunch of noise. I want Cypher to sit mid for the mid walk down. We'll have 2 guys waiting outside lobby, contacting, kind of see if people walk down, and we'll let you know when you can start walking up B when we believe there's a big lean from the defensive side to come A, because they believe we're going A. It's a fake, right? So that's how you have to structure your thought processes. You can't just randomly throw out a concept. I'm not saying you do. It's just some students do. They're just like, and I ask them, why do we do this concept? They're like, oh, I saw it in VCT. I'm like, bro, that's only going to get you so far. There's going to come to a point where you can't, your concepts won't work anymore because people are thinking with this protocol and you're not. You're just pulling a plan out your ass for some reason, and they're identifying exactly, pinpointing 100% accuracy on what you guys are doing and what they're trying to do to stop that. So that's how you have to think, okay? Identify, process, adjust, then apply, okay? Then you start working on the concept, using the concept. So this process comes first before using the concepts or trying to formulate a plan with these concepts or telling your team what to do. You got to do this 4-step thing first. And there's a little hidden layer where we've done this whole protocol, right? We've identified how they play as a team, individually how they're set up. Okay, we thought about this information. Oh, they don't have flashes here. They have flashes over here. They only have smokes over here. They don't have mollies there. Whatever it is, then we adjust. We come up with solutions. Okay, we're gonna do this, guys, and then we apply. We tell my team specifically. We plan. We make a plan, a very good plan that makes sense, and then we're about to execute. There'll be times where we get to this point where okay, we've planned to go B, but it won't work anymore. You have to identify that. Just because you've done this process doesn't mean you commit to it. You got to redo it. Wait, it's not going to work. Wait, there's 3 people here now. Oh shit, they switched it up. It's not how we envisioned it. You're going to have to audible and pivot. You're going to have to leave and do something else. Okay, so that's a hidden layer where just because you do this doesn't mean you just commit. You got to be able to be flexible where you can adjust again. Oh, wait, we thought they were going to be, that we identified there's 3A, but there's 3B. It's not gonna work. We're gonna have to go A now. Okay, maybe we can even fake B in the moment. We got up to here, make it believe like we're going B, but we're gonna end A. So you got to be that flexible. Understand that, okay? And I believe you can do this. So that's that. All right. So and I know this is a lot, but this is pretty much the foundation of game sense and Valorant. If you understand these things in terms of your protocol of how we need to process the enemy and then create plans around it, you'll be a very, very high level player. And also it will develop a skill I like to call, which is the map hacking skill, where since you're so good at, let's say, once you got really good, since you're so good at identifying how they play individually, you'll now understand their pathing, where they were last seen, which agent were there, and where they will go. Or there'll be rounds as well where this information will come into play. We trade out on A. It's 3v3 now, but we've identified through 5 rounds prior that the Viper's always playing B and there's always a Sage Kitchen. We can just run it out here with our knives out, right? We know 100%, even though we have not seen it, because we've identified that through rounds and rounds and rounds, and we've stored that information for later use. That's also important. Don't just store this information, forget about it for the next round. You got to store all this information for the whole game. There'll even be times where you identify how they play on attack. You can also identify the playstyle on defense, usually. Very, 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 not often, but most of the time you can get a sense of what their playstyle is as a whole in the game. Okay, so understand that's why it's important to store this information. Okay, so that's that. So needs to understand enemy tendencies and frequencies better. So understand how they play as a whole, understand what they like to do as a team, what they like to do individually, and what is the rate they're doing it individually and as a whole team. And I know it's a lot to take in right now, but this is what it
Yeah.
takes to being a Radiant player, a high level player, a high level thinker, not even just a player. This is what high level thinkers do. They think on multiple layers. They don't think on one layer. Oh, let's go ahead and run it down, guys, because, you know, I saw Sage here. Oh, let's just run a fake here for no reason. Let's just default for no reason, okay? There's a reason to it. And I can kind of touch on this too. When they are fast rotating, you've identified they're fast rotating, they're stacking sites, and whenever you guys just pick one site, like make some noise, okay, the easiest counter to that is to rehit, to fake, or even to default, to gather information, play for picks, group up, have control, then decide, calculate where to go after off those type of information and kills, stuff like that. It's like reading the room, okay, being flowy. So that's pretty much it for fast rotated. If they're a team that sits around, they don't ever rotate, right? Because they're just kind of scared. You guys are defaulting, or I'll give you an example. We've defaulted 5 rounds in a row, right? One guy's here, one guy's here, one guy's here, maybe 2 guys are mid, one guy's here as well, or 2 guys are A, 1 mid, 2 B main. So they start putting 2 A, 1 mid, 2 B main, right? They're not going to fast rotate it for not rushing. They got to play it slow too. Then the best adjustment of that is to start rushing because they're spread thin, right? So we're going to be taking the 5v2, 5v1, 5v3 at max. Max, usually it's a 5v3, even if it's a stack site. Very rarely is it a 5v4 or 5v5, unless you've given them that much time to get on that site. But that's something you have to identify. But so that's that. You know, that's really how we use the concepts on a basic level. Okay, so if they're fast rotating, understand you're gonna have to start running fakes because they're leaning hard. You make it like we're going A, but we're gonna end B and take a 4v2, 4v, not even a 4v2, it'll be a 4v1 most of the time, stuff like that. Okay, if they're sitting around, never moving, super hard anchored everywhere, then you're gonna have to start running it down 5-man everywhere, stuff like that. So those are some tips and tricks you can use with these concepts. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I wish I could give you a textbook answer. Oh, when this happens, we gotta use this concept.
Yeah, I get it.
Like chess. You know, like do you play chess at all?
Yeah.
It's like when they do this,
No.
when they do this move, we're gonna go E5, and it's like there's a lot of theory and right answers, optimal answers, right? But in Valorant, it's not a game where it's like poker or chess where there's game theory optimal. Like there's an optimal theory way of going. Valorant, there's no such thing yet because it's such a young game, and also it's just too situational. There's just too much involved that we need to know to kind of act accordingly. It's not like chess or poker where there's unknown information, yes, but it's limited. But in Valorant, it's like so unlimited. There's so much shit involved, which kind of pushes our decision to another way. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. So we went through the concepts and the tendencies. Great. We're kind of yapping on, so I don't. I might make you play one more game, but we'll see. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make you play one more game because I think it's important that we kind of touch on your fundamentals more than really just watching you play and helping you adjust. I gotta make sure you understand the basic stuff first. Okay, so that's that. The next thing is so I wrote needs to understand enemy tendencies and frequencies, and also setups and where they play. So you gotta understand where the sentinel is, what their setup is, what utilities they have, etc., etc. That's kind of knowing the individual stuff, but I kind of worded it where you gotta know the site specific stuff, right? Okay, there's so many sessions where with my students I asked them where are they playing, so then we both identify it together. He's like, I think this guy's here, this guy's here, this guy's here, and I'm like, yep, that's correct. And I'm like, this guy's also here and this guy's here. For example, like Gecko's on C, Sage's garage, one's mid, and then Reyna and Jet's on A Haven. And then it comes into play in the rounds where we start A, we kill all of them, and then we decide to rotate. So then we're like, oh, there's gonna start rotating A. We start going C, and then we kill a gecko and a sage or whatever, we just know the site is free on C, right, or on A, because these players that usually play here are dead. That means it's done. There's no one else there, right? So that's why it's very important to mentally keep track of where they are playing all the time and see where they adjusted. For example, Sova, Jett, and Reyna are playing A. I've identified, and the Sage is mid, and then KO is B. But then they switched it up. Wait, the Sage is now on A, and now the Jett's on mid. You gotta be able to pick up on that and store that information and see where they're going, where they're switching it up. It's very important. Okay. Any
Okay.
questions off these things so far?
No, obviously, just a lot of information to take in.
it
Still
is, it
trying
is.
to
Right.
process it.
Yep.
But yeah,
You will.
it'll take time.
Trust me, I have players, and I think you're higher than your rank. I truly do. I've had players that are just, bro, IQ is like 50, and they still understand this stuff. It takes some time.
Yeah.
It takes some time to kind of soak in like a sponge, right? But it's important that you understand this stuff. We can just briefly talk on defensive concepts real quick.
Yep.
Not as many concepts, so it will be very quick. So, on defense, there's retaking. Do you know what retaking is?
No, but I have heard the term a few times in your VODs.
Yep. Okay, and this is a term you'll hear all the time. Guys, wait for the retake. Wait, can we retake? Can we retake? Chill. Retake. You're gonna hear this a lot. Retaking is in the name. Retake. What is retake? We're retaking what is ours, right? So
I'm sure claiming
they-
back the area that's been taken or pushing forward, that
Right,
makes pushing
right.
taking over.
So, for example, let's say they full 5-man bum rush A, and I'm alone.
Yep.
Obviously, you're not gonna sit here and fight for the site. There are times
No.
you can. I'm not saying you never. There are times you can. Okay, but what retaking? Let's say my team's like retake. Wait, retake. So I will automatically come back and give them the site to retake it. So I'll come and play my life and stay alive. So the retake could be a
Yep.
5v2 retake, a 5v3, 5v4, 5v5. But why you retake most of the time is when it's like a 5v5, 5v4 retake. Okay, so you give it up so that we have numbers and we can take it together. Even 5v2, 5v3. Okay, but and the most common retakes are usually 5v5 retakes, 5v4 retakes. Okay? Usually you're not gonna retake on a 5v2. You're everyone's just gonna start flooding out. Okay, stuff like that. But what retake means is that we come back, wait for our team until they've come from B, they're rotating to us, so they come over and they're set up ready, and we're all ready and set up to take the site. So it's a team effort. Okay, so it's very important that you understand this concept on defense, where you'll hear it, or you can even call it, guys, let's retake, let's give it up, and we'll retake it together. That's what retaking is. Okay, another concept that defense have is called fighting for site. Okay, it's pretty much in the name. You fight for the site. So 2 people here, 3 people here, or 1 person here, you sit here and you take the honorable samurai death, and you just try to kill as many as you can, and you end up dying. A lot of the times you're gonna die. Okay, but this is a concept I use myself on defense, where I understand how hard it is to retake, especially when they set up really well as attackers, and certain maps are very bad for retakes. Okay, but I understand why it's so hard, so I like to fight for a site personally. I don't like giving things up for free. I make sure you want to take this site, you're gonna have to go through me, because I know my capabilities of killing 1, 2, 3 people. I know I can do it a lot of the times, so I try to force them to expend more resources or try even harder to kill me. Okay, so that's what fighting for site is. It's very simple, that one, right? Fight for the site. Sit here and don't give it up, right? You'll hear that sometimes. Not as common as retake, but they'll be like, guys, we're gonna have to fight for the site. Retake is not working. Let's say we've retake 5 rounds in a row. We've waited patiently for them to take the site, and then they leave setup. Okay, and then we retake, but it doesn't work. We keep getting destroyed. It's not gonna work at that point. You're gonna have to fight for the site and make sure we don't have to retake. We just have control all the time. Okay, that's that. Okay. Another concept is taking space. Okay, flanking. This is also another concept that ties with lurking. It's the same thing but different, because lurking is an attacking concept. Flanking is a defensive concept. Taking space is a defensive concept. Okay, so I'll briefly touch on this. Okay, if we walk down A main, right? Pretend we're you. This is you. We walk down, right? You're like, nothing A main, boys. Okay, where can they be?
Mhm.
The enemies.
either sitting around the corner or in spawn or up on ramp or
Be
on the other
specific.
side of
Be specific.
the.
Which
They
sites,
could be
which
sitting B.
areas? Okay, B, where else?
Realistically, if they're not A main, they could either be lurking through B tube, mid blue.
Right, so yeah, that's fine. Just stop there. So mid or B main. Correct? Right? We can assume
Yep.
if we've come up this far and not died, not shot in the back of the head, that they're gonna be mid or B main. Okay, I'll give you another. There'll be a series of examples that I need your answer. Okay, so let's say for example, the same thing happened. We took somebody, whether it was you or whoever, one person took space on me, or two people, whatever it is, they took space on A main. Right? They're like A main, nothing A main, boys. Then you walk down B main. You're like nothing B main. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. Where are they? We have this.
They're either gonna be in the attacker spawn or mid.
Right, so let's just say it's mid, right? Like this area. They're in their
Yep.
attacker spawn or mid. Good job. You can identify that. Great. Okay. Now, I'll switch it up a bit. We walk down mid. Nothing mid, boys. And then the guys walk down B. Nothing B, boys. Where are they? Very simple.
Sitting in the corner, B garage or A belt.
No, let's say they climb up to this big. Like they've cleared B. There's nothing there, absolutely.
Okay.
up
They're
to this
sitting
point,
A
we're-
belt.
right.
They're saying A belt then.
Right. You don't have to be specific. They're A. They're
Okay,
towards
A,
A.
A.
They're here in this general A main direction. Right? I'll switch it up. We walk down mid, same thing. We come up all the way here, and then we take A main. We're up here. We're assuming nobody's here, or we know 100% we come up to here, nobody's here. Where are they?
B.
B. Good job. Okay, now, last question. I tell all my students this. I'm sure you heard this in the VODs. You got to be able to answer this with your eyes and ears closed. If you can't, there's something wrong with you. Okay? If we walk down A main, nothing A, boys. We walk down mid, nothing mid, boys. We walk down B main, nothing mid, nothing B main, boys. Where are they? This map's a little bit different, harder to explain, but where are they?
Are they completely cleared B or are they just?
Let's say we got up to
They're
here.
sitting-
You know, just generally we came up to here, this line.
Then they're sitting in B. Their main spawn.
They're in their spawn. Okay, good. And I know this map's a little bit hard to explain that, but
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a few corners they could all just
Right,
be
right,
sitting
but
in,
we're-
but
we're- we're
mainly
looking-
they'll be sitting in
yeah,
spawn.
we're looking past the corners. We're just generally where they
Yeah.
are, where they're leaning towards is spawn. Obviously, that's not. And honestly, this map is a map where sometimes that happens, where the attacking team is or the defensive team is taking space so hyper aggressively, and we're defaulting. We get pushed back here and just waiting for these guys to come. That has happened on this map a lot, actually, when I think about it. So this is actually a valid example. But some maps it's not valid, where they're not gonna be sitting in their spawn waiting for you guys. Depends on the map. But what I'm trying to say is that taking space is information. We can pinpoint where they are, right? Off these series of questions. Whatever combination it is. If it's A main, if we have A main control and B main control, we know they're only mid or in their spawn. If we take all three, we know they're in their spawn waiting around. If we only take B, we know they're mid and A. If we take A only, we know they're mid and B. It's information. How you have to look at it is, in Valorant, 10 out of 12 maps are in thirds, like in Icebox. A main, aisle with the spawn, their spawn, our spawn is 1/3. Mid is 1/3, going both ways, and B as well. That's how you have to think about it. Most 10 out of 12 maps are in thirds. So if I walk down A main, which is 1/3, where are they? You can talk in thirds if you like, to make it easier.
If you walk down A,
Yeah. If we walk down A,
either-
which is 1/3 of the map, where are they?
either mid or B.
Right, the two other thirds, right?
Yeah.
If we walk down all 3 thirds, they can only be in their spawn. If we control 2 thirds, they're in 1/3. If we control 1/3, they're in the 2 other, whatever combo of third they are. It could be A, B, or mid and B, or A and B, or A and mid and B, whatever the combination is. It's just you have to look at it like that, where it's information of which third they are in. Okay, there are 2 maps where are separate. Bind, it's not in the rotation. Bind is a map which it's in halves, A and B, and then there's no mid, even though there's a market area. There's hookah side B, hookah side B, and then short side on A. Okay, so it's split in half directly. Fracture is a map which is in quarters. There's B main, there's B arcade, drop side on A and A main, so it's 4 quarters. So if we take space on 4 quarters, they're in their spawn. If we
Yep.
take space in 2 quarters, they're in the 2 other quarters that we don't have space in. If we have 3 quarters of the space, they're only in 1 space. If we have 1 quarter, they're in 3 quarters. So that's how you have to look at maps now. Okay, now you learned, right? So this is a map that's in thirds. It's important that you understand that taking space is information. Okay, it's very important. It will not only help when you take space as in 1/3 of the map and you're not dead, they're not there 100%. It will not only help you understand you and your team where they are, but when you understand where they are, you understand what they can do. You can pinpoint, narrow down what their options are. For example, if I walk down B main and we walk down mid, where are they? Very simple.
A.
A, right. And if we start flanking and they're on A, we know wholeheartedly they're all there. Okay, our teammates are
Yep.
still alive on A and we're flanking. What can they do? Try to answer. Where can they go?
Nowhere.
Well, let's say they've
Well,
decided to do
they've
something.
either got to push the retreat
Right.
or push forward.
Good. So they can only commit to A or rotate back. Can they run a fake on us?
No.
No. We know that we can rule out all these concepts that are very tricky to play. They can only execute on A or rotate back. But if they rotate back, will we know or not? Will we know or not know?
Depends if they're saying let's fake and they
Try
don't know
to
you're.
think about it generally. If they are running back to us when we're taking space like this, will we know? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. The answer is yes. We will 100% know, especially when they're running off and they don't know we're here.
Yeah.
It's different if they walk off. We might not know.
Yeah.
But that's like exception to the rule. That's very rare that happens.
Yeah.
Generally, they start running off, so we'll know. If we're here and they start running off, we can call, yo, you're that fucking running off, run B, run B, run B. And what happens?
Yeah.
We beat them to the race. It's a race at that point when they start running because we have full info. So our team will start running B and stack B, and we're here. Hopefully we can kill 1 or 2, or we let them run by. We tuck here and we just let them run by, and we come reflank them or whatever. But what happens most of the time is when we have mid and B, is they get contained in A main. Okay, because we have like 2, 3 guys here and 2 guys are flanking. They're fucked. They have to decide to leave or go, and whatever decision they make, there's not much space. They're gonna die either way they go, unless they shoot a perfectly good execution. Shoot perfect fights where they kill everybody and start, nobody dies, stuff like that. Okay, but
Yeah.
generally they get stuck. So that's what taking space will do. You'll be able to develop this map hacking skill where you're like, yo, they're here, 100% here, they're stuck here, and then you know what to do. Guys, they can only go A or they rotate, and then when they rotate, you have the answers because you can hear them, footsteps or
Yeah.
gun noises or whatever. Okay, so understand this concept. This is the main concept, just how like the protocol is to understand what they're doing to make a plan. Okay, this is like the defensive protocol to figure out what they're doing, added on to our protocol. So that protocol can work on defense too. How are they playing as an attacking team? Oh, they're a team that runs it down. Oh, individually, this guy's always here, this guy's over here, whatever, etc., etc. We found out solutions. Okay, they're running it down, guys. We're gonna have to fast rotate. Wait, they're defaulting. Let's stick around, anchor hard. Wait, they're lurking. We gotta account for all the space and make sure they don't lurk up, right? Then obviously we make that into plans, detailed plans. I want this guy here. I want you here. I want this utility here. Put your turret here. Okay, and we're all gonna sit around. Okay. Yes, that's the main thing for attack, but we use it on defense too. And then we add this to that. Wait, we wanted to default around, but we took some space and nothing's mid. Now we know this is what they like to do, but they're only A or B here. And now it limits their options. It's a deduction, it's a math equation. Now they can only do certain things, right? You can only commit to A or B and rotate, but we've cut off the rotation part. So if they decide to rotate somewhere, we're going to kill them a lot of times, right? So it's very complex. I know it's a lot of information. I've had some students, I explained this stuff to them, and they're just like, holy fuck, bro, you're like making me look at Valorant in a way I've never seen it. Whether that's good or bad, like their just brain is exploding, right? So, and I'm sure you're feeling the same feelings right now. Like, holy fuck, I can't believe this is what, like, I don't even want to play in Valorant this way, right? But
No, there's situations where I'm sort of doing it, but then there's also situations where I'm like, yeah, I need to do a lot more.
Right. And what I'll say is that it's important that we don't do it sometimes. or once
It's all the
every
time.
5 times. It's all the time. You gotta have your mind running on idle like a car. It needs to be running, expending the resources in your brain, using that identification protocol, and then being able to identifying, adjusting, and then making plans off it all the time. Because think about it this way: let's say we're playing against 5 good players, and we're not doing it. Who's gonna win in the long term? The law of large numbers, the rule of large numbers. Who will win over 10,000 games, or who will have the bigger win rate? Because they can win too without doing that, but it's very rare.
Person that's thinking about it every time.
The team that does, and those people that do
Yeah.
it every time. Why? There's a reason. Because it's edge. If I can pinpoint instinctually, intuitively, or me just kind of using tendencies and frequencies, kind of how you play, versus somebody that's just mindlessly running around shooting and moving, who do you think is going to win in a 1v1 situation? The guy that knows.
Yep.
He
You
knows
get
how
the
you play.
advantage.
He knows what you'll like to do. He knows how to outplay you. Be 5, 10, 20 steps ahead. That is the key. That is something I would like you to think about. Don't be a reactionary player. Be a player that can really, really be ahead of the enemies to have an edge. And that's what the pros do. That's what the best players do. That it's not just in esports and gaming. That's what at the highest level in traditional sports they do, whatever sport it is. They try to figure out what they're doing. This is what we'll do, especially in a sport where it's like a strategic game like rugby, American football, soccer, right? Maybe not so much more individual sports, still there, but it's more complicated when there's multiple people involved, right? Because everyone needs to do their job. You got to figure out what they're doing individually as well. Obviously, when it's an individual sport, it's easy to just look at the one person and figure out how he is as a person, what he likes to do, how frequent he's gonna do it. Or it's one guy, but it's harder when you gotta account for 10 people, 5 people, right? So, because you gotta store every one person out of 5. 20%,
Yep.
right? The whole 100%. So that's that. Okay, very, very. I know we're getting carried away, but this is very
No,
important
it's
in
fine.
terms of fundamentals and our concepts and our game sense. Because you told me you have a little bit of trouble with game sense, right? And I can
Yeah.
see it. I'm not saying you're a dumb guy. It's just when I ask what's a default, you gotta know these things. It's the basic, basic, bro. That's like pulling up. That's maximum. I was gonna say like pulling our pants up, but it's like putting our shoes
Yeah.
on, right? You're not gonna go outside and not put your shoes on. You gotta put your shoes on, right? You gotta know these. It's like brushing our teeth in the morning. It's so basic that we gotta do
Yeah.
it every day. So that's something you gotta understand in terms of Valorant. It's like brushing our teeth. You gotta be able to know these things to a T, not just know them, but really, really understand them and how they can use. And I understand it's not gonna be overnight when you start understanding these things. It took me pretty much 4 years to understand these things in depth. And I didn't play, if I played every day for 4 years, I probably would have got this way quicker. But I was always on and off. Like I'd play 3 months and then quit for a year and come back, play 4 months straight, 5 months straight, and then quit another 8 months, stuff like that. So it took me 5 years over time. But if I played over, a lot, it would have been quicker. But what I'm trying to say is it takes experience. Okay, I didn't even kind of know how to put these into words. Like I knew what I was doing, like these things, but before I was a coach, I never knew how to put into words, obviously, because I don't need to explain these things to people, right? I just do it intuitively, or
Yeah.
just by myself. But once I started coaching, I was like, okay, fuck, I gotta actually gotta explain this to people. I didn't know how to put it into
words
words.
people
Right,
understand.
exactly, and that's the hard part for me. But once I kind of teach my students this, they understand very, very quickly. And I'm glad I'm able to put these into words. It's for you guys, right? It's not for me. It's not to sound cool or look cool. It's so that you guys can understand and use these things like I did, whether I knew how to put into words when I did not or not. You got to be able to make this skill a 10 out of 10. I'm probably in the 8.5. If I'm trying to sit back and observe me doing it, I would give it a good 8, 8.5. It's not a 10 out of 10. That's why I'm not radiant, probably. If I was a 10 out of 10 in this skill, in this category, I probably would be like a monster. Okay? But even me, a lot of students think like, holy fuck, you have this like backpacking. You're cheating, bro. What the fuck? How did you know? But when I'm really real, like, I'm not that good at it. I'm pretty good at it, but there's people that are like mastered this skill, and it's objective. So What I'm trying to say is just make sure you can dive and wrap your head around these concepts. Okay, how to think about it is, I'll just separate it for you. Identification protocol, that's what I call it. Identification skill set, whatever you want. Okay, 4 steps that we can kind of see. There's some unhidden rules too, but 4 steps is identify what they're doing as a whole and individually, process that information. What does that mean if this guy's here and this guy's not here and this guy's here, or whatever their play style, what we can do. Then adjust, figure out solutions. Okay, they're a team that runs it down, we're gonna have to fast rotate. They're a team that anchors around, we're gonna have to run it down. They're a team that defaults hard, we're gonna have to default hard on defense. So we're gonna have to patiently wait for them. We cannot walk down. They're a team that, are always 5 together. We might have to start taking space and flanking them all the time. Stuff like that, taking space on them. Okay, and then also, and then be creative, find new ways, use the old concepts, whatever it is. Then we apply. The first step is applying. Get to step 3, get to step 4, pinpoint it into a plan. Okay, this is what they're doing, this is what we're gonna do. I want this guy here, this type of utility here, this and this, and then execute. Make sure it'll work with the timings, making it make sense, stuff like that. Okay, and I know it's very complicated, it's very advanced for you right now, but I believe and I know wholeheartedly all my students have the potential or can do it, no matter what the rank is. It's objective. I've taught this to like golds and shit, and they use it. Bronze unrated players, they use it. They start taking over. I've had sessions where they're losing a game, right? And I help them out in session 2 and onwards, like those type of sessions, like session 4 or whatever. I'll be like, how are they playing as a whole? Because I can't just give them the answer. I know what they're doing.
No.
But if I give them the answer, they're just gonna rely on me, and that's what was happening.
They're not learning.
Right, and that's what's happening in the first month of coaching, where I wouldn't make them identify them by themselves. I would just watch them play, and I would identify, and I'd tell them to make a plan off what I know. But they would just rely on myself. So there was a turning point where I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. I gotta make these guys grown-ups. I gotta make these guys think for themselves. Because it's like cheating. It's like me smurfing, right? They're playing, but I'm the brains. I need them to be the brains and the aim. So I told them, what have we identified in this moment in time, this round? How are they playing? They answered correctly. I'm like, good. What are we picking up individually? They're like, this, good. Okay. Then I'm like, what concepts can we use off their playstyle? They're like, let's do this. I'm like, good. Okay, let's make a plan. So I make them make the plan. I don't help them out anymore. I used to give them the specific plan. I want you to do an AFIC, go B in this. I want this guy's here. But I stopped doing that because they rely on me. They just stopped thinking. So I told them, make the plan. Make a specific detail. They do it. What do you think usually starts happening when I help them identify correctly and accurately?
And you're opening up their brain, and they're sort of
I do
adjusting themselves.
Yep. And what happens
Instead of
is they start winning the game. They'll lose. It's like 9-3. I'm like, because they're struggling. I'm like, I'd be hard on them. What are they doing? This is what they're doing. I'm like, good. Okay, what are they doing individually? What's the step? Like this. I'm like, good. What concepts can we use to combat what they're doing, their playstyle? So like this. I'm like, good. Make a plan. They make a plan, and then they understand that it works, and I don't have to tell him the same thought processes anymore. He just goes, this is what we're gonna do, guys. They're doing the same thing. Default. He'll call the same plan 10 rounds in a row, and they just end up winning the game, right? So it's very important that you can identify this by yourself and do it by yourself, and I know you can. But what I'm trying to say is it's important that we not only take over the game with our aim, our mechanics, be able to 1v5 everybody, but our brain.
But have a strategy.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know how many. This is objective. It's not even subjective, even though it's in my experience, in my POV. You don't know how many games I've coached, sessions, or I've played myself, where I just take me personally. I guess it's subjective, where I take over the game, or I help take over the student's game off our planning, our anti-stranding, our identification skills, by adjusting quickly. Not 10 rounds in. The next round, we try to figure it out, solution, and it just takes the game over. Because why? The enemy team is not doing it. If we're doing it, we gain such a huge edge, right? And that's the case with most enemies. Maybe not at the high level, like the low, high elo, I like to call, like Immortal 1, Ascendant 3. But, at the mid-low levels where you are, gold, silver, plat, diamond a little bit, they start doing it. But plat, gold, silver, bronze, iron, that area, they don't do it. So if you can even somewhat use this process 20% of its capacity, you'll shit on people. Imagine if you can do it
Yeah.
at 100% every round. Bro, you'll be fucking unkillable. You'll be fucking setting yourself up to killing multiple people every round. And that's another thing you have to understand, is that this game is not about running, swinging into 3 people and killing all
Yeah.
3 of them. It's about setting yourself up to get those kills. By taking space, I'm taking space because I know they're not starting mid all the time. So I know they're not B, and I just flank them and kill 3 people with their backs turned to me. That's the key. That's what I would like you to focus on. That's what a lot of people don't focus on.
Yeah.
They come to me like, my aim sucks, my aim sucks, my aim sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm like, bro, your aim is good. I look at them and I'm like, objectively, it's actually really good. It's like an 8 out of 10. But it's your brain that's not getting you the kills. You're taking shitty fights. You're just swinging, reheating. You're just overheating. You're just re-peaking every angle. You're not using your fucking brain. Aim
Yeah.
will get us kills. Aim mechanics give us the tool to execute the kills, as in clicking, moving quickly, getting on their head to delete them, or seeing them, right? But what really gets us to get the kills is our brain. Our brain is what gets us in position to do that. So that's something I'd like you to understand. I think you do understand. Okay. Any
Yeah.
questions so far? Anything?
No, it's definitely just trying to take everything in, and
Good,
obviously
good,
once
Good.
I don't know if I'll be able to play another game because it's currently
Okay,
quarter
okay,
3
no
over
problem.
in
So,
the UK.
We'll just kind of
Yeah.
we'll just talk for the next. Well, you have 20
That's fine.
minutes. You have 20 minutes. 20
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we'll do 20 minutes. We'll just go through the fundamentals and stuff. So that way you have a rock solid foundation. And whenever you forget or anything, or it's too much,
I am writing stuff down, so I'm
Good.
trying to
but
make
also
sure I'm
the
taking
VOD
notes.
will be there. I'll send you the VOD so you can
Yeah,
always
yeah,
come
perfect.
back and rewatch it, stuff like that. And I also sent you the round notes, but I'll also send you these
Yeah, I've
notes,
seen that.
the general
Perfect.
notes that I didn't send you yet because I wanted to touch on that, stuff like that. So that's kind of the key important thing I would like you to focus on, is the identification protocol,
Yeah.
understanding concepts, defense and attack. So lurking, contacting up, defaulting, fakes, rehits, okay, and then rushing, okay, and then also the defensive concepts that will be
I
taking
don't think we went over that one. Brushing. I think
Rush-
that was one of the ones we didn't.
no,
Sorry,
no.
rushing. I thought you said brushing.
no, rushing.
Rushing. Okay, that's fine.
Rushing as an execute. Remember, we kind of we
Yeah, I
decided
know
to go
that. I
A,
thought you said
we went
brushing
into-
then.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I know there's a lot of slang too in terms of concepts, stuff like that, words. But yeah, for defense, we kind of went through it. It's really not so much. Okay, it's retake, fight for sight, and taking space. That's it. And then there's like defaulting as well, like defensive defaulting. That's usually what happens when the attackers are defaulting every round, right? They're spread thin,
Yeah.
waiting around for you guys to walk down, waiting in their spawn, just playing very slow and cringe, not even running around like I explained earlier. They're just sitting, waiting, right? That's usually what will happen when
that's sort of how I felt that game I was playing.
Right,
Like,
right.
if I didn't throw the dart where I did, it was sort of giving me either a bit of information to say, okay, it's not picked everyone up. They're either waiting or they're going A.
Right.
Or
Yep.
they're waiting and then rushing mid.
Right. So that's kind of what will happen when they're doing that. That we'll because what happens usually when they start defaulting is we figure it out by dying. Like we'll walk down and they're like, oh fuck, they're sitting in their spawn AFK. All right, guys, we're gonna have to don't walk down. You'll hear that a lot. Guys, stop walking down. They're just heavy default, waiting in spawn. Stop it. Just stop lurk. Stop taking space. It's not gonna work. They're waiting for us. You'll hear that a lot when that scenario happens. And then we will default as well. As in, we'll have 2 guys A, 1 guy will be like a mid player, and then like 1 guy kitchen, and like 1B or like 2B, whatever the setup is, and we'll wait for them. Because we know that they're sitting around waiting. It's an objective game. We gotta wait for them to get the bomb down. We don't need to go and fight and kill them all, right? So we gotta just sit and wait for whatever they've started to calculate and group up and go. So let's say they're defaulting, we're defaulting, super quiet round. We know they're defaulting, they know we're defaulting. So then they've got to make a move, right? They can't just sit until the time goes down. They're gonna lose the round. They gotta plant the bomb. So they will usually end up grouping up and hitting a site. That's when we gotta start communicating. Wait, they're A. Wait, they gotta end A here, whatever it is, and then we start grouping up towards A and then start fighting and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's not a main concept on defense. It's more of a situational concept, I would say, in my opinion. Could be wrong, but yeah, it's not as common. I think you're gonna be actually, yeah, I shouldn't say that. It's pretty common, to be honest, to be sitting around when they play slow.
Yeah.
But what I should say is that you're gonna probably seeing a lot of the, fast rotates, doing a lot of the fast rotates, anchoring or taking space a lot is the main stuff you're gonna be doing on defense. And that's the stuff I'd like you to do. Okay. I was gonna say something, but fuck, off that information. But yeah. So that's our defensive concepts, and then understand. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something
No,
really
apologies.
important, and it just escaped my brain, and now I'm just tilting because I know it's important, but I can't remember what it was. So that just tilted me even more. Fuck. Okay, hopefully it'll come back to me, but I'm having a really bad brain day today. But that's that. So yeah, those are kind of the attacking concepts, and then let's kind of focus on our identification protocol slash our identification skill, and also our information processing. So you know how we can identify, we identify to gain information, we gotta process that information, we gotta think super quickly, super fast, in depth, wrap our brains around, be unbiased, look at all perspectives, and really just kind of weigh the risks and cons and pros and cons and the risk and rewards, stuff like that. So work on that type of stuff too, and I think you have that in you for sure. You're a little bit older too, so you're gonna understand that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Some of my
So
young
it's pretty
guys,
much everything's a
yeah.
risk assessment.
Right,
Everything you do in life is a risk assessment.
Exactly,
You're
yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
working out what's the pros, what's the cons.
Right.
Everything is.
Yep, and that's a not just a Valorant skill; it's a life skill,
Yep.
right? So,
Yeah.
that's if you can kind of grasp that a little bit, you'll be really good at this. It's all about just applying it too. I had a EU Immortal guy, Jet player. I'm like, you know all the concepts? He's like, yes. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yep. I'm like, but and he didn't. That's the thing. Objectively, he didn't. And I told him like, bro, it's one thing to know what they are. It's another to be able to know in depth how to use them, to apply them, right? Because he wasn't, and he's just saying he does. I'm like, bro, but you're not using them. That's the problem. You're just running it down every round, right? So it's important that we can apply them and have them in our arsenal playbook and use them whenever the situation arises. And that's something I'll tell you that most people don't do. They only really use like running it down or a fake or oh, that's the one I missed, rotations. That's a
Okay.
concept on attack where you got to be able to know when to rotate, right? It's like a sub concept, right? It's not like a main concept where you call to rotate. Nobody calls a plan to rotate, right? Like starting the round, do you make a plan to rotate? No, it's a sub concept where you use when things aren't working out. You gotta
Yep.
know how to rotate, when to rotate, should we rotate, stuff like that. But what I was trying to say is that yeah, it's important that we, yeah, fuck, my mind's all it's racing all over the place. But yeah, so that's that. Okay, let's kind of move on. We're getting stuck on this, but so it's important that we can process information quite well, stuff like that. Most students do not. They only run it down, rotate, or run a fake. That's it. 3 concepts, and that's that. And I understand there's not many. There's 6 or so, 6 or 7, but what do you think the pros do? Do they use these concepts? Yes or no? It'll be a yes or no question. Do they use these
Yes.
7? They do. They may not use it on the basic level, as in calling, guys, let's fake A, go B, but they make it super, super, super fucking complicated and advanced and very, very multiple layers. And I'll ask you, why do pros make it very, or how can they make it very complicated, advanced, and multiple layers and very specific details to the plans?
But are you using multiple concepts?
No, try again. Starts with the word letter I. One word.
Initiating?
Nope. Try again. We'll try one more time.
Okay. Intel?
Kind of correct. Identify.
Okay.
Right? They use these basic ass, very simple basic concepts that I've taught you that you know now, but they make it super fucking complicated and advanced and high detail, multiple layers into it by identifying what the enemy pro players are doing. They're very good at this identification protocol, right? Valorant's a game that's very flowy. There's no
Yep.
set plays. As in like American football plays. Okay, there's a run play this round. This round we're gonna do a passing play, break, and then we execute it. It's not like that. Yes, you may have a plan, guys. Let's start A. Let's work it out. Let's see. But usually you don't go. Let's go A. I want it specifically 100%. We're gonna go no matter what, right? There's none of that. It's very flowy. So that's how they make it more complicated and advanced and high level concepts by identifying what the enemy is doing. And this is not reserved for only pros. You can do it too by identifying at a high level, understanding their playstyle as a whole, individually where they are all the time, etc., then making your plans. Okay, so, and this is something I do. I make super detailed plans of what the enemy has shown me or I can pick up on or what I think will counter them, right? And I'm not saying it's going to work 100% all the time, but it's going to be, it needs to be in the 70 to 80% where it's working 4 out of 5 times your calls. There's going to be times you get it wrong. Okay, and also understand that to get better at this is to make mistakes. You got to keep making calls, keep trying to identify even if it's wrong, keep getting better at it, and it will come into fruition, because that's how I did it. No, I didn't have somebody like me to tell me these things. I learned it by myself, whether that was actively or unactively, as in subconsciously, or actively, as in, you know, whether I was taking in the information like this. I didn't. I just instinctively, intuitively played it like this, right? I just did it without knowing what it was, right? So if you can wrap your head around it now, you'll get it really good. Okay, where you're not getting it wrong, but your calls work a lot of the time. They will also even see you as a leader when that happens. When you get something right 3 times and it's working, will they stop listening to you or keep listening to you?
Keep listening to you.
Keep listening to you, correct, right? And so this will tie into also our leadership skill and our communication skills, where if we do this right, like, they will follow you around, they will listen to you. And I get that excuse a lot where they're like, well, I'm in gold, bro, like, why should I communicate and tell them what to do? It's like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Okay, if you want to be a high level player, we got to be understanding how to do this properly at a high level. Okay, and that's the first step I teach most of my students. I teach them how to do it at a high level, and then the second step is to consistently do it at a high level, right? It's first thing to know how a pro can do it, then it's to do it like a pro every single time, right? And that's where a lot of my students are now. They're in the second step where I'm telling them, you got to be consistent, keep doing it, bro, keep every round. Right now, for you, you're in the first step where we got to get it to a T where you can get it like a pro, do it like a pro one time, and then do it every single time like that consistently. And you will, trust me, it's objective. All my students now are doing it without me even telling them. I might push them here and there when they're struggling. What can we identify? What's going on, bro? What are they playing? And then they'll answer, and then I'll make them do that thought process by themselves by asking those questions. But at the end of the day, they do it by themselves. I just help them identify and use this protocol I've developed, right? So it's very important that we work on this. Okay, I'll just kind of briefly go through your pros quickly. There, I tell my students there's always more cons. I was really focusing on your cons. There wasn't many comms too, like communication, so it's hard. But this is what I wrote. So AIM is able to take very good fights. You actually take fights well. Most people struggle with this actually. They shy away from fights where they're wondering why they can't get kills, but you're kind of just putting yourself in the fire. You don't even care if you die. You just go and fight them, right? And that's a good thing, bro. That's very good. I'm not saying run down W key and die to them. Take a shit fight or always look for a fight. There'll be a point where you gotta stop taking fights where they're better and they're gonna instantly die. But as of right now, it's good. You're not shying away from them. You're winning them too. So you'll develop experience in the fights where as you climb, you're gonna be already good at fighting. Okay. So that's that. And I wrote you're able to delete. You're showing me you're able to delete. All you have to do is kind of get better at that. I'll show you some stuff right now, so we'll finish these notes and move on into the range really quickly. Okay, so the next thing is movement / positioning. I wrote he's able to entry and scale decently with initiator, as in we should probably touch on this. So do you know what entering is?
Pushing into the site or pushing into a certain area.
It's the action of getting on site. Okay, and usually entering is a team effort. It's a team thing where they got to throw smokes down, and then you're gonna throw a
Yeah.
knife, and then the duelists start throwing their flash and dashing in. Right, it's a team expedition. That's how you have to think about entry. There are times you can solo entry, double entry, like 2 people have to entry, stuff like that. But usually it's a team thing when it's 5v5, stuff like that. Okay. Do you know what scaling is?
Is it checking your corners, checking
It's a-
everything,
it's
pushing
a-
and pushing up?
Yep. It's a part of that. Okay. Scaling is in the name, right? Scale, progress,
Yeah.
move forward, right? Is making sure we can entry on the site. We entry on B, right? We entry, good job. Now we gotta scale. We gotta push, move forward into these corners / angles the enemy will be, and we gotta kill them. Oh, and then when we kill them or we've cleared them, we know it's clear, right? The
Yep.
site is clear. We've killed them or we've visually cleared it. Nobody's there. No threats. No resistance. It's clear. Okay, so I think you do this well. You're going in first and kind of scaling by yourself a lot. Okay, so and there's a difference of being decent at it and good at it and being elite at it. Efficiency is what will make you better, as in being able to entry quickly and start efficiently clearing the site, as in quickly killing people quickly or clearing these things very quickly, so that way we can keep scaling. We can scale the site and then we can scale spawn. You'll hear that too. Scale spawn, scale mid. That just means move forward and progress and make sure it's clear and you've killed them there, or it's clear where no one will die from coming behind you, or they have to redo it, or some guy is sitting trigger disciplining because you didn't clear it properly and he kills 3 of your teammates, stuff like that. So it's important to entry and scale. And you're an initiator, so it's not as big of a deal, but something you have to understand is that initiator and duelist go hand in hand. They're like best friends, just how like the controller and the sentinel are. Because the sentinel and controller can lurk, they're allowed to lurk, right? Generally, and also they watch flanks, right? So you are the best friend with the duelist. Where if the duelists are dead, you're not gonna send the sentinel in first. You're the next man up. Your batter's up. Okay, so you have to understand that you go hand in hand, where you help the duelist go and do his job by entering and scaling. Usually it's the duelist's job to do that. You help them with flashes, your knife, mollies, and stuff like that. Breach stun, breach flash, sky dog, Sova drones, fade dog, whatever. But you have to understand you got to be close with them. When they're going in, you got to come out with. You are a secondary duelist. That's how you have to look at it. Okay. And I think you understand that a little bit. So that's that. Just a little bit of food for thought there, in terms of your role. Okay. When you play KO. So that's that. Okay, we'll move on. The next thing I had for game sense and mental game, I think you're pretty aware. I think you're quite aware of the minimap. You were without no
Yeah, I
comms,
do.
you're moving to
I
where they
tend-
were going, stuff like that. That tells me that you are looking at the minimap. So that's that. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
But there are times where I'm probably looking at the mini map in the wrong location, so I'll be sitting around a corner
Right.
I'll be peeking out, but I'm looking at the mini map, but where I shouldn't be. But
That's fine.
yeah, I'm fairly aware of it.
All you have to do is just keep getting better at it. Okay, what you have to do is go around the map, keep your crosshair head level, just in case you pretend somebody's gonna peek out on you, and you look at the minimap. Look, clear a corner, look at the minimap. Clear a corner, look at the minimap, look back, and go really quick.
Yep.
Train yourself to get really quick at looking at the minimap in your POV. Usually there's 2 opposites. Like, one student is very good at looking at his screen POV and not the minimap, and then there's one student that's aware of the minimap but not really good at awareness around him. And there's a few that are balanced. I'm in that category because obviously I've been playing games for 20 years, bro. Like, you get good at, and I've played games where you have to use the minimap, StarCraft 2, Dota 2. So I just got lucky where I played games where minimap is all the information. It's very important to be lightning quick, hypersensitive to it. So that's just me. But yeah, there's a small players where it's balanced like that. But I think you're in that category when I think about it. You're pretty balanced with the minimap and what's around you. Just get more elite, right? Be quicker. Make sure you won't die, stuff like that. And it happens, but just make sure you're improving on that. Don't stop, stuff like that. So we'll go in the range now. That's all your notes. And one thing I'll touch on your mental game is just, focus on things that matter. Your your true skill, what you did wrong, what you could do better, instead of what most people focus on it, which is rank, RR, winning or losing. Their teammates are retarded, so they fucking start freaking out. I've been there too, but Because you said you.
I get more frustrated with myself than
My
the team, if I'm honest.
ultimate
Like when I think it was a few times I peaked
Sure.
over the ramp. There was a Tejo or no Breach and the Sova both there.
Right.
I just didn't kill them, and they killed me instantly, and I was just pissed off.
Okay, yeah, and that's fine. That's fully
That's
fine.
more of a me thing than anything.
Right, yeah, that's that. But just understand that, internalizing it is actually worse than externalizing it. As in, just
Yep.
vent and get it out, get it over with. You vented out your frustration, move on. I had a couple students where they internalize it, and that's worse because you're not letting it out, right? You're not letting the frustrations out. And they're just thinking about it and they're thinking about it 10 rounds later. I'm like, what
Yep.
the fuck are you doing? Just fucking yell at your team and let it out, get it over with, right? Because it's just bad. It's just you get in your head and then there's like all this fear. This one little speck of fear just starts fucking just destroying your mental.
Yep,
then
and you
get in your
overthink
head.
it, and you
Right,
and
exactly.
then everything you do, you fuck up, you miss
Right.
things. Yeah.
So that's one thing, a tip I could say. And I was the externalizer. I would literally just crash out, but I would feel better after. I'd be like, okay, fuck, I let it all out. Fuck, okay, time to play the game, right? But I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even want to know what it's like to be an internalizer. Like that must be fucking.
Oh, it's horrible.
Must
It's
be
horrible.
scary as fuck, right? I've
Yeah,
never been.
especially playing FIFA. FIFA
Right,
is
right.
probably the one thing that's caused that because
Sure.
it's just you against another player,
Right,
not,
right. Because
not a team game.
It's
Yeah.
really on you and no one else to
Yep.
really crash out on.
Exactly.
And so you're like, fuck. But that's
Yeah.
what I'll say. Just kind of let it out. Even when it's like by yourself, just yell. Just like fuck, yell. Just yell out top of your lungs. You'll feel really good, and the emotions will start coming down a little bit. Because you told me you struggle a little bit with this stuff, the mental game. So I'm trying my best to help you. I wish I could see you communicate today, so I could see it. Right, because usually I can see a student's frustration, their mental game,
Yep.
off how they communicate. Right, so
Yeah,
they're-
normally I'm the type of person that will try and be positive. Like if someone fucks up, like nice try, we'll get them again. Like just don't do that, don't peek it, don't do that thing or whatever
Good.
they've done.
just keep that up and just focus on the right stuff. So, what is your routine so far?
So
Be
eliminate
specific.
100 bots.
Eliminate
So
100
I'm going.
bots. Okay, what else?
Yeah, doing that for 5 to 10 times.
Okay.
If
5 to
I
10
think
times. Okay.
yeah, so it depends on how bad I'm playing. If I'm doing it 100 bots within 125 second plus, then I'm like, right, I need to keep doing it until I get the time lower.
Okay.
And then I'm going on to the hard bots, doing that 5 times or until I
this,
get
hard bots?
until I get 15.
Okay.
And then I'll do
What's your average? Be honest. What do you usually get?
between 10 to 12.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's fine.
And then I'll go into deathmatch, and that varies. I'll normally do 2, depending on how I play. Like normally the first one, I do very well. In the second game, seems to be I come mid-table.
No problem. So I'm gonna kind of rearrange it a little bit for you. So this is generally what a Valorant player's thing should be. This is what, not just because it was me that I did it, but everyone kind of does it like this. This is what I used to do in my prime. I don't have this schedule anymore because obviously I'm not playing full time anymore. I used to. I'm coaching all the time, so I barely get to play these days. But what usually people will do is they'll aim train first thing. Whether
Yeah.
that's Kovacs or AimLabs or whatever, then they would get in the range for about 20 to 40 minutes, sometimes an hour. Really depends on what you want to get better on. And then they'll get in 1 to 2 games of DMs before they play. Then they'll play, right? They'll leave some room for them to cool off, so they'll finish playing for the end of the night, and then they'll run 10 DMs, 10 TDMs. And then do one more aim trainer. That's kind of like a very, very high level schedule. But what most of my students do is more of a aim trainer, range, warm up with DMs, and then play, and then they'll cool off with DMs. That's it. Those that want to go pro, I tell them to add a second session of aim trainer. But for most people, they don't need it. I used to do it, but you don't have to. So what I'm gonna do is tell you is that I very highly suggest that you do aim trainers. I will, whether that's
Okay.
AimLabs or Kovacs. Kovacs is $10. You have to pay for it. I suggest Kovacs. There's a reason why they pay
Okay.
$10. It's way better than AimLabs. there's a playlist that I send all my students for free, and I've had so much testimonials on it. They're like, "This is crazy, this, that, whatever." Okay, and that's how I used to feel too when I first used
Yep.
it. I was like, "Holy fuck, bro! What the fuck?" It's the
I have
first.
also heard that a few people, when they're saying that they're not getting anything from it, and you've like let me review it, and you're like, yeah, you're doing it completely wrong.
Right. You saw those VODs with the two guys.
yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Where I watched them do it, and you saw. I don't know if you watched them play after, but it was
I
a huge.
didn't. I don't think
Okay.
I watched it. I think you were telling someone about it.
Okay. I was telling somebody about it. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's that. But I really recommend you use Kovacs. If you cannot, if you don't want to, whatever, use
No, I'll
Apex.
get it. I'll get that.
Okay, so then we've identified that you'll do it. I will send you that playlist. Do it once a day. Don't skip out because it's important. Okay, I'll just kind of say this before we continue. Is like you gotta look at aim trainers as like the weight room, and then like range stuff as like cardio, CrossFit. Right? Yeah, it's good for your body, but you're not gonna get that definition you want from running, like muscle growth and that size. And
Yeah.
right. You need to really bench press, deadlift, squat, whatever it is. Really work on the individual muscle groups, and that's what the aim trainers do. And that's what it is because aiming is a physical thing. But anyway, so before I get too carried on, that's what I would like you to do. And then we're going to do it. I'm gonna, because it's late, I'm not gonna show it to you. It takes me like 30 minutes to show it. It's too long. I'm gonna send you a video. I'll crop it out from a good one that I did from another guy. I'll send you 2 videos of it. So I used to teach a routine to every student in the beginning, but I realized that not everyone needs it, and it's really meant for those that have no routine. So I send you the one that's about 5 exercises, and then now I've developed a more advanced exercises that I teach most of my students that are very good. It's 3 exercises. So and it's very quick. Don't get so scared. It's not very long. But I'll send you those 2 videos as well. Okay, and I will also send you. So now you're gonna do Kovacs, right? 1 hour a day with the playlist.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna do your range stuff that I will show you in those videos, and then you're gonna just stick to 1 to 2 DMs before you play. I would recommend like 1 to 1, probably 2, maybe too much. 2 is fine, but then you play.
Yep.
Then I recommend you do as many DMs as you can before you get off. I know you don't have a lot of time too, but weekends you might have more time, but
Yep.
try to do minimum 5 each, 5 DMs, 5 TDMs. Okay, and it won't take that long too. Usually DMs are pretty quick. They're like 5-6 minutes. So that's that. And then I will also send you the 2 videos that you heard me talk about of me showing the guys how to do the playlist correctly. Because, be brutally honest, most of my students don't do it correctly. They're just going through the motions of getting
Yeah.
it completed.
Just doing it for the sake of
Yeah.
it.
They're just I got it done and I just finished it. Okay, I move on. But
Yeah.
there's a way to do it properly, and to do it properly means you will improve. But if you just go through the motions, it's not gonna work. So I will send you those 2 videos. I will send you the playlist for Kovacs, the range 2 videos, and then yeah, that's pretty much how I want you to structure your training every day. I know everybody's busy, everyone's got work, and especially you're older,
Yeah.
you got responsibilities
Yeah.
and shit. Try your best. Even if you don't feel like playing, just do it. Maintain your aim, get better. Because I think your game sense is pretty good. Just gotta focus on like the specific Valorant game sense stuff, because you're already a long time gamer, so you already have experienced games. So it's not like you're like a 16-year-old kid that doesn't know anything about these stuff, right? It's just you gotta know specifically in Valorant concepts, and then you'll probably
Yeah.
get a lot better. And that's some stuff I want you to focus on, like what we touched on. But yeah, just structure your aim training like that: trainer, range, DM, play, and then cool off with your DMs and TDMs. And then yeah, I think you'll be really on the way. Even though you're silver, I tell some of my students, this is very rare, I don't tell all my students this, but I think you are above your rank for sure.
Okay.
Not sure where, but definitely better than silver. I mean, you were fucking shitting on people, like you weren't losing many fights, right?
It did. Like I say, there's days where I have some off days, and then there's other days where
Right.
I feel like I can't miss.
And that's an easy fix, and I'll ask it in a question,
Yeah.
not because you're stupid, to open up your mind. If we're inconsistent, what do we need to do to not be inconsistent?
Identify what's happening. train.
Let's keep it in the realm of aim mechanics. We're inconsistent
Okay.
in aim. What do we need to do to be not inconsistent?
Train.
Right? I was trying to not give the answer away. Is to be consistent. You already know what consistency is,
Yeah.
right? Every day, be disciplined. Even no matter how you feel, do it, because it's
Yeah.
progress towards your goal, right? So keep that in mind. Just be consistent. And that's an easy aim. I don't focus too much on it. I do help my students on it, but it's an easy fix. Okay, it's just you
Yeah.
gotta do it every day, improve, add more exercises, and add. You go to the gym. I heard you say you go to the gym, so you know
Yeah.
what this means. Progressive overload, right?
Yep.
That's the main fundamental mechanic of body lifting, power lifting, getting strong, getting these, getting a really nice body, physique, whatever it is. Your cardio, making money, getting bitches, whatever. That is the main mechanic, fundamental mechanic of working out. To get these is to have progressive overload. You can't just bench press the bar for the rest of your life. You're not gonna get any size from that, right? You're gonna have to push yourself to the limit. So that's what I would like, and I'm glad you can understand that, because sometimes I tell my students this and they still don't get it. I'm like, this is what it is, and and they don't do it. They don't apply it, but you can apply that because you're older. You go to the gym. You probably work out a lot. Add progressive overload. Push yourself to the limit. Go faster, 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 faster. Maybe not so much in time, as in doing it longer and longer in the same speed. Push yourself where your arm feels like
Yeah.
falling off. Your muscles are sore in the next morning, stuff like that. So that's important, because aiming is a physical aspect. Yes, there is a concept. There is obviously some mental sides to aiming. Like, if you feel like shit, you're not confident, you're scared, you're nervous, you're gonna shoot like that. If you feel confident, you know you're gonna shit on people, you know you can shit on people, you're gonna shit on people. Aiming is a lot of how you feel as well, but it's physical. We gotta swipe around. We gotta use our fingertips. We gotta use our wrists. We gotta use our hand, our wrist, our forearms, our neck, our delts, our triceps, our biceps, a little bit of our lats, a little bit of our chest, a little bit of our neck muscles, our traps, our shoulders, right? So, and you understand this. Muscles are all connected together, almost connected together. So, that's why we gotta add progressive overload. So this is our new baseline. This is our new speed, and we keep improving on that type and
Yep.
and building upon that. And you'll be on the way, my friend. You'll be on the way. Any questions so far? Anything?
No, nothing.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll have plenty afterwards once it's over. But yeah, and once I'm actually in games and doing stuff, I'm sure there'll be things that will creep up. But
Sure.
for the time being, I think I've
Yeah.
got a lot to work
And
on.
I know,
and
I know it's
take
really
it.
late for you too, and I know it's a little bit long. And I know it wasn't like a traditional session, but
Yeah.
I think for you specifically, if I were to deep dive that game prior to us talking, like, you probably wouldn't even knowing what I'll talk about, like half the things, right? Especially in terms of the concept. So I think it's
No, exactly, yeah.
important that I lay down your foundation where it's good, solid, and understanding these advanced stuff now. If you can understand this now, bro, you deserve to be like diamond minimum. Okay, so that's that. And I'm not saying you'll get there by just doing nothing. You gotta put in the work. But so I'll let you go because it's late. But I got one last question, a follow-up question before you go.
Yep.
I'm sure you probably heard me say this. So I asked you, what do you want? What did you say? Try to repeat it back if you can remember.
Want a radiant?
Right,
wanna
that's
be
after.
radiant.
But initially, what did you say?
Oh, sorry. Diamond.
Right, you're like diamond, and you just want to
Yeah.
get better and work on certain aspects of your game. Right, then we're like, you know what? It's too small of a goal. Let's dream big. You
Yeah.
said radiant. Right, great. We've identified. Good. I love that, actually. It's not broad. People think saying I want to be immortal or radiant is broad or general. Yeah, a lot of people say it, but it's specific. Right, you're pinpointing where you want to be. That's the difference. Right. So, but the next question to this first question is, what do you want? Right. You want to be radiant.
Yep.
The follow-up question is, what are you willing to sacrifice for this dream, this goal? How badly is it you want it? You got to ask
Yeah.
yourself these two questions every day. Okay? And I know you don't want to go pro. You just want to, you've got the competitiveness in you to be a very
Yeah.
good player. You want to play with high-level players, you know, because it's fun. That's really fun. I
Yeah.
know that too. It's fun to play with the best or the top.
Yeah, I'm
1%.
not one of these players that want to sit on a game where I'm just absolutely
Dog shit.
shitting on kids,
Right.
shitting on kids,
Yeah.
but it's boring. You're not
Your
not
mind-
learning anything.
Yeah, and your mind is just stagnant when you're playing with noobs.
Yeah,
It's just-
100%.
You're just like, what the? You're like baby. It's like babysitting. It's like
Yeah.
teenage adult babysitting. Who wants to be in that? You want to be in a game where
It's
everyone
horrible.
can think for themselves. Everything is super sweaty, super high level. Everything
Yeah.
is like super efficient. Everything's super crazy, nice, cool, right? And the people there are like that too. But it's important that you ask yourself these questions. And I'll kind of pivot away from normally how I structure this last part, because usually I'll give them a lot of advice on, about life and, going pro and never
Yeah.
giving up. But that's kind of not, and you're older, you're my age, so it's, we've probably experienced life at the same rate. But,
Yep.
what I'll say is just don't give up on your goal, right? It's very important, and you know that. Just don't quit. You've probably failed a lot in life. I have myself
Yep.
multiple times on my dreams, but that makes us who we are, yes, in a way. But there's a difference from failing and giving up. I'd rather you fail than quit. Don't give up.
No, exactly. And
That's
if
it.
I'm honest, my job role,
Right.
the way I've actually gotten to my job role is definitely through a lot of failure, but also
Right.
learning from it and progressing.
Right. And what I'm trying to say is, in terms of your goal, this goal you've told me,
Yeah.
don't give up. I'd rather you spend the next 5 years trying to do it, and you end up, you know what? I got a baby, I got a kids now, I can't do this anymore. All good. That's not even giving up. You just failed, right?
Yeah.
But you being like, yo, this is too hard. Fuck, bro. I don't think I'll ever do it, man. I'm gonna have to quit, bro. You get in your head and quitting is different. Okay, it's really the easy way out. That's the easy way out. You have to understand that. Okay, it's very, very crucial that you understand that. The hard ways to getting through it, no matter how long, what you gotta go through to do it, to getting it done. And that's how I wanted you to think about this goal now. And I know we kind of made this goal together. You didn't decide by yourself. You could even lower it if you would like. But, it kind of stems off that first thing that we talked about. I see a lot of potential in you. I see a lot of potential in all my students, that don't shoot so low. Don't think so low of yourself. Shoot high. Shoot for the stars.
Yep.
You land on the moon. Okay, so, and then we'll be higher than we initially wanted to be, and that's important. And then obviously focus on the small goals as well. You're silver 2 right now. Get to silver 3, gold
Yep.
1, gold 2. You got to do this weekly, whether you are with me or not, as in you're taking coaching with me or not, because that's usually what I do for the students weekly. I'm like, next session
Yeah,
this
I've
is a
seen
B,
those, yeah.
this is A plus, right? And I used to not do that, and what would happen was everyone would just show up the same rank for 4 weeks. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys
What have you been doing? Yeah.
What are you doing? Just jacking off every day, bro? Like, what are you doing? And then once I started applying that pressure, a little gentle, it's just a
Yeah.
little gentle pressure, right? Gotta be here. No exceptions. No excuses. I'll be disappointed. Hey,
It's taking ownership. It's
and
making them aware, like, what?
they start
Yeah.
doing it. They start taking accountability. They take action. That's the key.
Yeah.
They start going towards these small goals, and that's something I would like you to do, whether it's
Yeah.
with me or not. Just every week. Okay, I'm here. I need to hit this by next week. Next week, gotta hit this, and you'll see the improvements go so quickly, bro. Honestly, I have one student right now. He started with me gold 1. Now he's ascendant in 7 weeks. 7 weeks.
Damn.
7 weeks.
Fucking
It's a
hell.
month and a half. It's pretty quick. It's not that fast, but it's pretty fucking quick. Okay?
Yeah.
And he was washed too, so we had to learn everything.
Really?
Yeah, and we had to relearn everything from him. Okay, he last played episode 5, and he came back. Right, so, it's pretty quick. Right, so. And a lot of my students are starting to climb. A lot of guys are starting to hit ascendant now. When they started with me, like bronze, gold, plat, right? So
Oh, damn, yeah.
it's all about taking action and hitting this, winning, right? Celebrate the small wins too. I had some students, they're struggling. They're like, man, like a session number 4. They're like, man, bro, like I don't think I think I gotta quit. I'm like, and then we talk to them. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, man, I don't, like, I'm not improving at which I want to do. I feel like I'm not improving. And then we look back, I break it down to them. I'm like, bro, when you started with me, you were silver and now you're gold 3. And I tell them, I'm like, I put my hands up. I'm like, 7. You've done 7 rank ups in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Take it easy on yourself, right?
They're
just,
not happy with the
Right,
progress. They just want to jump
right.
to ascendant.
The ego starts eating up them a little
Yeah.
bit. I said, oh, I deserve to be immortal now because I've improved a little bit. But I just tell them, celebrate the small wins. Be grateful for where you are now, right? You gotta be level-headed in that way, and don't let
Yeah.
that ego grow. Because I'll be very honest with you right now, that's something that happened to me. That happens to a lot of people once they start getting to ascended. Like, let's say they were like a silver, gold, plat player, and they start getting to ascendant, immortal. This ego starts filling them up. They just think they're better than everybody because they
You see it in every game you play. If there's
Every
someone that's
Correct.
got 30 kills, they just
Right.
shit on everyone. They're just
And-
leaving them toxic.
and
It's just
I
toxic.
and there's a huge downside to developing an ego like that and maintaining that ego, where it'll make you unproductive. Now you're gonna think you're
Yeah.
better than you, and there's that's just bad ego. There is a good ego where you want to be somebody, you think you're confident in knowing your capabilities of banging or being better than players. That, that's good, but bad is being like talking down and always
Yeah.
egoing people. It's not productive, and what I'm trying to do is just stop you from going there. Why? Is because
And it's not someone anyone's going to listen to, is it?
right.
Like
Exactly.
if they start saying, I need you to do this, they're going to be like, oh, you can fuck
Right.
off.
Nobody will fucking respect that guy. They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
"What is wrong with you, bro? You're
Yep.
not that good. Like, how are you so full of yourself, right?" And what I'm
Yeah.
trying to do is stop you from getting to that point. And I'm not saying you will. It's just because you're a little bit more on the weaker minded side, where you kind of struggle with mental game, where you'll be a
Yep.
victim to that. Why? I know that is because I am the same. I'm on the weaker mental side too. I used to tilt all the time, crash out all the time, be very toxic to people, be mean to people because I thought that I was better than them. Right? I took the game
Yep.
super seriously because I wanted to go pro. Other people weren't going pro. So when I would lose, I'd be like, "Are you guys fucking retarded? How do you not know this shit?" Right? Because I knew it, but they didn't know. But they were on different wavelengths, right? So
Yeah.
But yeah, so that way it does not develop, because that's kind of a main reason why I quit. Was because of my ego. I just stopped taking action because I just thought this was the end point. Once I got to Mortal, oh, I'm better than everybody. Finished. End of story. But that's not productive. It's not the way to go. So just keep that
Yeah.
in mind. That you keep your ego in check. Just be humble, level-headed, stuff like that. Do you have any questions or anything you want to talk about real quick?
No. I think you've gone through
Okay.
pretty much everything.
Good.
But no, to be honest with you, I just want to say that I appreciate this, and also
No worries.
I know it's a payable service, but genuinely, I think it's worth them every penny. Like,
Thanks, man.
genuinely, the
Okay.
fact that you're not charging more is beyond me.
It's
For how
my
much work you put into it as well.
Right. It's my pleasure too, man. My students really do give me good insight as well. I get to pick up on a lot of cool stuff too sometimes, and kind of see how players are, right? How
Yeah.
people are, how this type of playstyle person is, or this type. I get to identify myself a lot of stuff. Makes me a better player too, even though I don't get to play a lot anymore. Prior to coaching, I was spending 15 hours a day
Yeah.
playing. Now I get to play once a week at best, and I'm too tired to play sometimes. I'm just like, fuck, sitting here 10 hours a day
No, I get
coaching,
that.
right? But yeah, just I'll just sum it up. Just and I'll send you these notes, but just make sure, okay? Just focus on the protocol I taught you, the identification protocol, and then focus on also the concepts, the attacking concepts, defensive concepts, and then also try to work better on your let's see right here. Yeah, so the concepts, and then I would like you to work better on your what is it here? Your utility usage. Get it a little bit better. I would like the flashes and mollies usage a bit better. Your knife usage is good, but remember that really high level thing I taught you, right? If
Yeah.
you're throwing the knife right away, you got to know that they are picking up on that. They'll wait for it or break it, as maybe not in your lobbies, but higher, even a little bit higher you go, gold, plat. That's what they start doing. Then you're gonna have to switch up the timing, right? Let's say we believe they're going A, we know, and you've been throwing it quickly. Just wait 3 seconds, then
Yeah.
shoot it. It's just a little bit more of a high level tendency to play there. But yeah, just focus on this stuff, and then make sure you're being consistent with your aim every day, because you're a balanced player, where most categories of players they're either all aim no brain, or all brain no aim. That's the category I started in. And then there's a third category where they're balanced, where it's all the skills are kind of like 5, 6 out of 10, right? Get it all to 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You've already done some of the hard stuff already, which is the game sense, in terms of you've played all the games and stuff, like kind of stuff like that, awareness and stuff like that. All we have to do is work on the easy stuff, and then improve upon our fundamentals of game sense, like our concepts, identification, information processing, and then, bro, you're on the way. Really, truly. I'm not even glazing or talking out my ass. I'm being brutally honest because I've seen players like you before. We just tweak a couple stuff, give him the information he needs, in terms of fundamentals on gameplay, game sense, and bro, they just start shining away. Okay, so that's that. Focus on that stuff, and then yeah, just if you have any questions or anything, let me know. I will send you the two. I will send you the playlist right now, plus the 2 VODs of me showing them how to do it properly, and then
Okay,
I'll send
perfect.
and then I'll send you 2 videos of the 5 in 1, and then there will be 1 video with 3 in 1. Okay, just put it together. So it'll be about 8 minutes. That
Yeah.
whole range routine should probably take you about 30 minutes, around there,
Okay.
depending how fast you want to do it. But I will also say, remember to add progressive overload. So don't just keep it
Yeah.
there forever. Push yourself to go faster, add more stuff like that, right? Overall, it was a really good session. I know it wasn't the traditional session you saw where I break down
Yeah,
your
I
gameplay.
apologize about the
No, you don't need to apologize.
mic
Don't
test.
apologize to me. I should apologize to you because I was thinking whether I should go that route, but I think it's for you actually better if we work on some of these key stuff that are
Yeah.
important instead of me just going over what you're doing wrong and then that's it. Like,
Mhm.
you can kind of do that by yourself. And also, I'd rather make sure my student's foundation is set correctly rather than telling him what to do, but he just doesn't know how to play the game, and then he doesn't even know if this is right or wrong anymore, or like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's just, and the VOD will be there, and I sent you those notes, right? The round specific notes, so you can watch
Yeah,
the
I got
VOD
those.
and kind of see what you could have done better and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, that's it. Really good session. If you want to book more sessions, let me know as soon
Yeah.
as possible, so that way you don't have to wait a week or 2 weeks. Usually, I
That's
reserve the
yeah.
times for my students, stuff like that. And sessions onwards will be more fun. Now it's not gonna be like this. Not even nowhere close. Okay, we're gonna play 2 to 4 games. We play a lot of games in one
Okay.
session. It's gonna be about 2 to 3 hour session. You'll play two to 4 games, depending on how many students I have in that day, and then we'll talk in between rounds. I'll ask you, what'd you do wrong? Could you do better? You'll ask me, hey, what'd you think about this spot, this stuff? Like, oh yeah, I like that, this, that. I'll also help you with the processes I've taught you. When you're struggling, when you're on autopilot, when you're not thinking, I'll be like, hey, bro, wake up. What are they doing? You'll tell me what can we get from this round specifically from this one agent? Can we pick up? Can we store this information? And then I'll ask, what can we do off what they're doing?
Yeah.
And then you'll answer it. I'll make you answer it, stuff like that. And then also, yeah, I'll just help you adjust in real time. Hey, I think you could have maybe done this one a little bit better. Both options are good. There's another option here, etc., etc. So that way I help you adjust in real time as well. And also I will call things when you don't see it that are important. I'm not gonna let you just die, go inside when there's 4 there. I'm gonna tell you, rotate, bro. Call a rotate here. There's 4 here, stuff like that. And also get you out your comfort zone where you're struggling to make a plan, you're struggling to take space. I'm gonna tell you, this round, let's take space. Listen, let's take space this round. Make a plan, any plan. I don't care what the fuck it is. Just call something.
I've heard this a few times
Yeah,
when you're
that,
speaking to.
that's usually what I do. So because sometimes I get frustrated too. I'm just
Yeah.
sitting here watching them just autopilot, and bro, do something, bro. Like, and then I obviously try to help them. Hey, what can we identify? And then I'm like, make a plan. What should we do then? You've done step 1 2 3 very well. What is step 4? And then they usually get it right when I kind of force them to think a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's usually how it goes. So let me know if you want to book for future sessions, stuff like that.
No, I do.
Overall, bro, I think you have what it takes to get to Radiant. I truly believe that. I'm not really saying that out my ass. I believe anybody can. And when I look at your game, I think it's all you needed. It was a little push in the right direction. Be
Yeah.
consistent. That is key. You have problems with inconsistencies. Be consistent with your aim training. Okay, do it
Mhm.
every day. That's it. All right. Good session. We'll keep
No,
in touch.
appreciate it. Thank you
Any
very much.
questions anytime, you let me know. My DMs are always
No,
open.
I will do.
All right. Okay, bro. Take
Yeah.
care, man.
All right.
It was a
You
pleasure.
too, buddy.
Good
Take care.
session. You
And
too,
you.
man. Take care, bro.
Right, bye.
Peace. Good night. Okay, so let me send him these notes. What's up, guys?